Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead, take a moment out and hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. You don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that it happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button, and everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media, share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are going to be doing a show introducing my fiance, y'all. Introducing my fiance. Yo, someone took it upon themselves to introduce the world to their fiance. A very interesting way to introduce the world to their fiance, but let alone it is an introduction to their fiance. So we're going to talk about how the world was introduced to his fiance. And I think there's a little good there. There's a little bad there. We're going to really talk about it and see just how serious this stuff is. You know, and my thing is we're going to be mature about it, okay? I'm going to look at both sides of the coin on this one. I'm going to look at both sides of the coin. I'm going to try to be fair to the gentleman and the fiance, you know, but we do need to look at these different things, because there's a lot we can do here. Because, you know, if you do choose to get married, you definitely want to vet the person you marry. And this is part of vetting a woman, y'all. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, let me take a quick moment out to give credit what credit is due. There are people who step up to the plate and they help over here at the Roger Report Live. They give financial contributions, which allow me to do things at a better level, and I cannot do things the same way without them. So I got to give thanks to everybody who's a financial contributor at the Roger Report Live, and y'all, big or small, I do appreciate it all. So shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, Jay Daniels, y'all. Jay Daniels is a sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Okay, y'all, I appreciate everyone who gives a financial contribution over here at the Roger Report Live, and definitely want to make sure I acknowledge everyone. So thank you to Jay Daniels. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. And let me give some shout outs to some of the first people to come into the chat this morning, because when you start the show, it's always great to see that you got a few people who start, checking in as you getting the show off the ground. Always good to see. It's encouraging, as they say. It's very encouraging to see that. But y'all know how it goes over here. Over here at the Roger Report Live, there can only be one. So shout out to I'm Listening. He is the Highlander of today's stream. Always great to see you in the building, my brother. Always great to see you in the building. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here. All right. Also, shout out to Tunnel Runners in the house. What's going on, my brother? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. We got my main man, Guy Ogilvy, in the building. Great to have you here, brother. Great to have you. Mr. Suge to you. The Saute Sheriff is in the house representing for the pit crew. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Sarah B is in the building. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you. Good to see you. She done pulled up a seat at the cool table. My main man, the righteous teacher, is in the building. What's going on? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. And there go Floyd Thompson checking in. Yay, yay. Great to have you. Great to have you. Inspired Truth Broadcasters here. What's going on? What's going on? Go P is checking in. Great to see you, Go P. Followed by my man, Shaka Nulu is in the house. Great to see you, brother. Great to see you. Afro Merchant is in the building as well. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Emerald Edge 72 is pulled up to see at the cool table. Always great to see you, brother. Always great to see you. And Mr. GQ Smooth is in the house. And we about to get started, y'all. We about to get started. But appreciate everybody pulling in real quick. Shout out to Bad Black Gamer who throws in something real quick before I move to the other one. Shout out to Waskin the Man Cave. He on the same thing. Good to have y'all here. Good to have y'all here, y'all. Yeah, now we're going to look at this, y'all. We're introducing my fiance. Now, if you do not know, sometimes I do put links in the description for newer folks. So you always want to check the description before a show starts to see if there's a link. That way you can see what I'm referring to from time to time. And there's a link in the description here. And y'all, this was a call in to a radio station. Now, this is a this is the big station where the black people listen to in Chicago, y'all. They did this at a station that called WGCI. This is like the station where a lot of black people listen in the Chicago area, y'all. Okay, it's the big station here. It's two main stations in Chicago that black folks listen to, and this is this one's been around longer than the other, so this is the major one. Okay, so somebody wanted to get some thoughts heard about what's going on with his fiance. Now, I guess with this particular story, you can quickly and easily throw the woman under the bus all the way, but I do want y'all to keep in mind this is a person who's making the move as a fiance because she technically was trying to do what she thought was good for them. That's her excuse for it. I was trying to do what's good for them. So if you listen to the link, you hear how the woman, okay, unbeknownst to the man, start using the condo to use Airbnb to gain some extra dollars. All right. She done ran up the bills, y'all. She done ran up the credit card bills. She's going to get married. She understands, obviously, that once she marries this man, whatever bills she has, the debt she has, will also become his debts. She gets that part. I'm going to say that's a good thing, okay? She seems to have a full understanding that if I marry this man and I have these debts come into this relationship, I'm going to put these debts onto my new husband. I gotta say, that's cool. She is thinking about her new husband. She's definitely thinking about her new husband. Now, the person who would become her husband, he's asking, what people think about this, because he does want to hear people's opinion. Okay. Now, am I saying it's bad that he wants to hear people's opinion? Oh, absolutely not. Because some women would say, well, I guess he's unsure of himself and he should be a better man than that. You can be able to make a decision on your own. It is nothing wrong with listening to other folks' opinion about a particular situation. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. That does not mean he's unsure of himself. Now, I don't know why he wants to hear other people's opinion, but it is smart to hear some folks' opinion. And at least in this particular case, the way he's doing it by taking it to a public radio station, it should be unbiased as far as the personal level. Now, you people can have biases, but at least it's not necessarily a personal bias when it comes to this particular situation. So I totally get why he would ask the question. Maybe, just maybe, I would do the same thing. Maybe, possibly, a little pressure come on you. And the thing is, I don't know how close the wedding is supposed to happen. The weddings could be, quote unquote, around the corner. And now you find the situation out. And the thing is, he did find out in a tough kind of way. Your neighbor, who's just looking out for you, which is a good sign. This was a nice thing. Your neighbor gives you a call. Hey, bruh, what's going on? How you doing? I'm cool. What's going on with you? Man, nothing much, man. Nice day out here. Everything's fine. I'm giving you a call, though, because I see these people. Well, what people? Well, it's people outside your house. What's going on? I see people outside your house. They going in your house. They coming out your house. What? Yeah, it's people going in your house and out your house. Well, I can understand you seeing somebody outside my house. I ain't got nothing to do with that, though. But you say there's people going in my house? Yeah, player. Yeah, player. They going in and out, bruh. They going in and out. Who these folks, man? Man, I don't know what you're talking about. Ain't nobody at my crib, man. I'm good right now. I'm not even in town. Yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You're not in town, yet I see people sliding in, sliding out. Okay? What your girl doing, bruh? I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but I got to ask the question. What your girl doing, man? I see these strange men coming up in there, coming out of there. Now, he may have seen some women too, y'all. he may have seen some women too. And after that Diddy trial, a lot of folks may be on high alert. Now, I don't know if this information came after the Diddy trial. I'm just saying, though. Even if you see dudes running in and out of there, even if you see some women running in and out, it might not be the best sign. It may not be the best sign. And you know what? I don't know how dude confront her. If he confronted her, maybe, just maybe, he wanted to ask the public before he even confronts her about the situation. Because, even if dudes is running out there with women, that don't mean your women ain't engaging in some stuff, man. Hey, I thought I was a freak, man. I thought I was a freak. Can't say that no more, y'all. All the freak wannabes. Diddy done told us, man, it ain't even what you think it is. You just not at that level, man. You YMCA, he NBA, y'all. You YMCA, he NBA. So ain't no telling what the man may think once he gets his call from his neighbor that's looking out for him. And I think it's cool that the neighbor actually gave him a call, looking out for him. Neighbor probably knows a little bit about the lifestyle, knows he's gonna, go out of town from time to time. It's good. It's cool. Okay. It's cool. All right. So what do you do, man? What do you do? Now, as a man, I do think, anybody, I just don't think you should panic just because you hear some unsettling information or some disturbing information. You don't panic. You don't panic. And if you want some clarification, a lot of times it is good to quote unquote catch somebody in the act. I don't know what he could accomplish by calling her. He's out of town. You see, at this particular point, there's a suspicion of her doing wrong. Now you could call a woman and ask her about, is she doing some quote unquote wrong? But at the end of the day, a lot of women, all they gonna do is take that call, lie about what's going on, and now you just gave her a head up to really clean up whatever the situation is before you get there. So to me, yeah, a lot of times, especially if you're looking at someone who's a fiance, this is the person you love. This is the person you've already asked to be your wife. She's accepted. This is finna be your number one for real, for real. Okay, not saying she wasn't already your number one, but she finna be your number one for real, for real. You about to make her a wife. You basically finna let the whole world know this your number one for real, for real. Do you want to do this over the phone? I don't know about that one. Okay. I think it's a tough situation like this. If I'm going to confront a woman, yeah, I think I probably need to do that in person. So I'm assuming he hasn't confronted her yet. That's what I'm assuming. Okay. It didn't seem by the letter. I don't remember anything by the letter that it seemed like he already has confronted her. I don't think I would want to confront her over the phone. I think I would rather be in town myself if I would ever have to deal with a situation like this. Now, again, y'all, I'm going to throw in some benefit of the doubt because he's looking at her to be that special one for him, which means he has seen some good qualities about her. Easy to throw under the bus and not really think about it, but he saw something in her which makes him want to take it to the next level. And it's a hard level to get to for a brother to propose. Now, I'm assuming these are black folks because, again, y'all, it came off of WGCI, which is the big black station in the Chicago area. This is what this is where a lot of the black folks gonna be listening to if they're listening to the radio. All right. So I'm assuming they're black. Okay, they can't say for sure, but I'm assuming. Now, how do you handle this situation? Now, he's asking for public opinion. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. At least technically they're not biased on a personal level. All right. Shout out to Ray. Ray say, buddy, better speak to a lawyer. I'm not going to say that ain't bad advice because you listen to this particular situation, I have to assume that these people live together. Because she has enough access to do all the stuff that you need to do an Airbnb. Because remember, she's doing Airbnb behind his back. So I'm assuming they do live together. Okay. And a lot of folks nowadays will live with somebody before they get married. Now I've done it before in the past myself, but I do not recommend it. I understand at this particular point, but when you're older, you get wiser. Hopefully you get wiser. I understand why it's just not a good idea to live with a woman unless you're married to her. But obviously, in this particular case, it seems like that's the way it went down. And now she Airbnb in the spot out. Now, again, y'all, the story is, and I'm accepting the story on face value, okay? I'm accepting the story. I told y'all before, I don't necessarily just believe what women say like that, but I'm accepting on face value that she is truly trying to actually get herself together and be better, create a better situation for this couple. Understanding that if she marries this man, the debt that she owes, she is literally putting on him. Okay? This may be the actual case. Now, she picked a heck of a way to do this. Now, unfortunately, he's noticed some items missing. Okay? Some shoes missing. I don't know. Maybe he's a quote unquote sneakerhead. his shoe game may be serious to him, y'all. You never know what's going on with a person. Could be a shoe head. May not necessarily be a shoe head. You know, maybe he's a brother that dresses in slacks and only has maybe 2, 3, 4 pairs of tennis shoes. Okay, may not have that many. So it would be a little bit more noticeable if one of those pair goes missing. Okay, he may wear a lot of dress shoes. All right. Now, when they say shoes missing, I'm gonna think more. I'm not gonna necessarily think dress shoes. Now, it could be the case. You never know, because the brother does fly to different places for his job, so it could be some dress shoes missing. You know. Now, I don't think a person who's wearing dress shoes on a regular basis would necessarily steal somebody else's pair of dress shoes. I would like to think if you have a job or business and you're dressing in slacks and dress shoes on a regular basis, that you're not gonna necessarily steal somebody else's dress shoes. So I'm kind of assuming, it was a pair of tennis shoes or sneakers or gym shoes, however you put it. That's what I'm assuming. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. Maybe somebody is out there with dress shoes and slacks and came across another pair his size, like, man, these would be great if I add them to my collection. But I don't think that's gonna be the way it's gonna go. I think if you're gonna take anything, it's gonna be the tennis shoes or whatever would come up missing. I like to think better of people who are wearing dress shoes on a regular basis. I like to think better of them. That's just me being biased in that particular scenario. Now, the thing is, y'all, she may love this man. Okay? Let's not just throw that away, y'all. She is a fiance. She might be a fiance that pretty much loves this man intensely. Okay? Now, I've told y'all time and time again, Black women are concerned about their image more than anything else. Now, even with what was read and the woman's response about what's going on, I wanted to make sure you didn't look at me differently. You see, so the man did confront her. I'm assuming he confronted her at home. He didn't actually do it on the phone call like that. That's just my assumption, but you never know. But the response he was giving is, I don't want you to look at me different. Look, baby, I'm in a tough situation when it comes to these credit cards and this money I owe. I don't want you to look at me differently. I don't want you to change your mind. Now, y'all, I will say this. A woman in today's climate, if showing some level of intelligence, if you have a man who's proposed to you, okay, and he's serious about marrying you, your wedding date is coming up. You understand kind of what's going on with other women out here, especially ones who are getting older. Do you really want to mess this up? Okay, do you really want to mess this up? Okay, got to think about that. Okay, do you really want to mess this up? All right, because you may not get another shot. And that's just real talk, y'all. Think about it from a woman's perspective. If she meets one man who wants to marry her, now I understand a lot of guys have heard women claim that 48 dudes done proposed to her. Okay, yeah, I got options, man. 48 dudes done tried to propose to me. Okay, they all want me to marry. I know women make claims like that, but come on now. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. I hear this stuff all the time. Women saying they done turned down 1, 2, 3, 4 marriage proposals. I don't believe them. Okay, I'm just keeping it real, y'all. I don't believe them. I think there's a very rare case amongst women that they're even being proposed to. Well, especially amongst Black women. I don't think it's happening like that. But if that's not really happening, if she's being real with herself, She don't want to mess this one up because she knows she may not get anyone else to ever propose again. Okay. Now, shout out to Ray. He say, wait a minute, Roger. You got Keisha with the hair wrap on that wedding. Nasty work. Hey, man, we don't know what kind of woman this is, man. Maybe she is. You know, she might, I got to, at least for the sake of the show, give her some benefit of the doubt. She trying her best, man. She trying her best, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. She trying her best, man. She got a real ring. She got a real wedding date. She don't want to be talking to nobody later talking about he proposed and took it back. Maybe she stopped wearing the hair wrap after she got proposed to. Or maybe when he confronts her about the situation, maybe she been wearing the hair wrap ever since. She ain't trying to blow it, man. She ain't trying to blow it. And maybe her friends talking to her, girl, why you wear that hair wrap all the time? Because y'all, I done messed up. This dude came at me about the Airbnb and I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? He know what time it is. Man, I can't mess this one up, man. I'm walking on eggshells for a while. I'm giving at least 6 months of eggshell walking so I don't mess this up, you know? Because, you know, behind our backs as men, they may get real with themselves from time to time. Girl, where is somebody going to propose to me again? Now, I'm going to assume dude has a decent business or a decent job because, you know, he's flying place to place, okay? He's spending time away from home somewhat regularly, at least somewhat regularly, based on how the story was put out there. That's how I pick up on it. He's going from time to time. So he doing something, okay? He doing something, all right? Probably making a little bread, okay? He might be living in a nice downtown condo, okay? That might be what the situation is. She know she may not have another shot of some, especially if he's doing as well as I think he may be doing. She definitely may not ever have another shot, okay? Sometimes people sober up, y'all, in certain situations, y'all. Sometimes when you're afraid you might lose something, you kind of sober up for a bit. You might be, you might be proverbially drunk and acting a fool sometime, but when you find out you may lose your good situation, you might sober up for a little bit. So I think, you know, she trying to make sure she good. You know, she might be wearing that hair wrap on a regular basis right now. So I'm sure she does love the man. I will say that, y'all. I'm sure she, somewhere in her mind, in her heart, she's viewing it as she loves this man. I'm pretty sure that's actually there. Okay. I'm assuming he's an intelligent man. He has picked on the fact that at least she loves him for now. Okay. At least she loves him for now, which is why he proposed. But if I found out my fiance was Airbnb a condo out while I'm out of town, I'm gonna have a little bit of pause to this too. I ain't gonna just do it like ain't nothing happening. Okay. Yes, I'm going to discuss it with her. I will listen to what her excuses are. But you know, the wedding date may change depending on how close it is. Maybe I say, okay, well, all right, we in July right now, y'all. And y'all know a lot of weddings go down towards the summertime. So maybe they had a wedding coming up, you know, in the next month. Maybe they were going to get married in August. Who knows? July could have been. Maybe I find this out. Let's say they was going to get married on, I'll just say the 31st. Okay. I don't even know if that's a weekend. A lot of folks going to get married on a Saturday because they looking out for guests. You know, I don't know if that's the particular case. Okay, well, maybe I got to move this wedding to next year. If I'll still consider marrying you, But man, I gotta maybe move this wedding to next year. We ain't doing it on 31st no more. That's over with. That's dead. Okay, we ain't doing it on 31st. That's dead. Maybe next year. I got to think about this. Now, the thing is, y'all, if you're going to think about this, should I really make this move or not? Because that's what the guy is really putting out there. Should I really make this move or not? I do believe she loves me. I do believe she has the best intentions. I'm just looking at how she went about these intentions, because she says she's looking out for me. I'm Airbnb-ing this stuff. I'm cleaning up this debt, and I did not want you looking at me differently. So she's in a self-preservation mode, but on one end, her quote unquote trying to, be in this self-preservation mode is also supposed to be a benefit to this man. Okay. Shout out to Afro Merchant. he throwing out that real tough stuff, y'all. He throwing out that real tough thing. He say Roger knows. He ended it after his MJ jersey goes missing. Well, let's keep it real, y'all. It ain't just an MJ jersey, okay? And I'm gonna assume, based on what what I believe he may be living like, okay, he probably got the more expensive jersey. Y'all know them jerseys with, well, I don't know, I ain't bought a jersey in years, but it was like $40, $50 jersey, whatever. Then you got the $100 jerseys, $150 jersey, because you want the real quality, as if you was playing in the NBA yourself. I'm gonna assume he got him a top of the line jersey, y'all. I'm gonna assume that he got a top of the line MJ jersey. Okay, that's what I'm gonna assume. All right. And all them jerseys sometimes be a little bit more difficult to get. I remember one of my best friends got a MJ jersey at first, and they wasn't really putting out MJ jerseys like that. He had to go to the customized jersey where you pay a little bit more money online, and you customize the number, you customize the name. I picked 23 and I picked Jordan as the name, so I made me a customized jersey of MJ because they wasn't gonna just sell one, so I had to customize it. So he did what he did. Now, I remember when my friend got that jersey, right? It was a time of celebration to get that jersey, okay? We was young back then, but there was a time of celebration that he got that jersey. So I know my friend really loved that particular jersey. So now I'm going to look at it through my friend's eyes. When he was able to get that jersey, it mattered a lot to him. You know what I'm saying? We was young guys. We wasn't making money like that at the time, okay? We was essentially broke back then. Okay, but this guy probably has a very nice job or business. But you don't just get an MJ jersey just for the sake of getting an MJ jersey. You usually do that because you like MJ. Okay, you really rocking with the Bulls or you really rocking with MJ. He probably cared about this jersey. But the fact that he actually got it signed. Okay, the fact that he actually got it signed. Okay, y'all, I'm not going to assume that this guy gets to run into MJ on a regular basis. Okay, I'm not going to assume that. Especially not now, okay? I'm not going to assume that. You don't necessarily get to run into MJ on a regular basis. And getting an autograph from MJ is a little tougher sometimes. There are people who say that MJ don't necessarily, not the most lovable person at all time when you meet him in public. I done heard a few stories. Y'all, think about it. I grew up in Chicago. I done heard some stories about MJ here and there. All right? I done heard some stories about MJ here and there. I ain't never spotted MJ in the streets. Okay, just keeping it real. Even when he was living here in Chicago, okay, when he was living in Chicago, I ain't never spotted MJ in the streets. So he don't be out and about like that. Okay, or you gotta be where the money is in order to catch MJ somewhere. Okay, there's people who seen MJ in public places, but he don't be out there like that. Okay, now I understand. I definitely was broke back in them days. I ain't never been to but one Chicago Bulls game. when MJ was playing. Okay, I told you I don't come from money like that. Okay, I ain't been to but one Bulls game when Mike was still playing. Okay, I done been to Bulls games since, but Mike wasn't playing no more. Them tickets was hard back in the day, y'all. Them tickets was hard. All right. So running across MJ ain't the easiest thing. All right. Okay. I only got one friend who ever told me they ran across MJ, and he was literally working at the time. And his work took him literally to where MJ's house is in the Chicago area. You know, y'all know he got a house. Well, technically, he don't have a house anymore because it was sold, a little while ago. So he literally had to end up working over there. It's hard to run into MJ like that. So now, why am I saying this? I'm assuming this is a true fan because, again, y'all, this come from a station called WGCI, which is the one of the big stations that Black people would listen to in the Chicago area. So he probably a lifelong MJ fan too. This jersey probably had a lot of importance to him. And he done got him a signed MJ jersey, y'all. And now your jersey done came up missing. Now, some people may think, well, maybe she did take the jersey and she doing something underhanded. Maybe she don't really know where the jersey was. It could go either way. She was trying to pay off some debt. Maybe she figured she could auction the jersey off and get a little bread. I mean, technically, you could auction it off and get a little bread. All right? You know, you're going to get something for an MJ jersey. You know, you may not get $1 million, but you're going to get something for an MJ jersey. All right? So maybe she didn't really understand that was there and how it got picked up and it being messy, what that means at this particular time. Because if you're doing all right in life, you're not going to sell your MJ jersey, not your signed one, if you're doing all right. So I believe that jersey was one of his prized possessions. Y'all, this could be very much a Chicago couple. He may have grown up on MJ, just like I did. That could be possibly one of his prized possessions. And I think he's doing okay in life because he's going out from time to time, flying around here and there. I think he's doing all right, which means he wasn't going to sell that jersey. But your fiance want to make y'all world better for when y'all married. Okay, she wants to make y'all world better for when you marry. Now, can you really be mad at your fiance for wanting to make y'all world better for when you're married? Tough call. Tough call. Okay? Tough call. Now, I'm not saying she ain't wrong, y'all. I believe she's clearly wrong for a few reasons. Number one, she needs to understand she's under his leadership now. She clearly living with him, if you ask me. Okay, she living with him. She should be under his leadership. They're about to actually officially get married. She has a situation, which I believe could be a very much a real situation. It's not like she's telling an unbelievable story. The reason I was doing the Airbnb behind your back is because I got a bunch of debt. And I know good and well I ain't got no business with all this debt. I know if I marry you, I'm putting this debt on your back. And I'm trying to at least be a halfway decent woman right now by not putting so much on your back. So yeah, I'm wrong, but I'm at least trying to correct myself at least a little bit before we get married. Now, yeah, she's supposed to be under his leadership and going to him and saying, look, baby, this what it is. Now, she made an excuse. I just don't want you to see me differently. I'm not even saying that's a good excuse. I'm not even saying that's a good excuse. But at least she's saying, I just don't want you looking at me differently, which is showing she does care about how he sees her. And again, y'all, this might be her last chance, realistically, on ever getting a decent husband, especially one in the position where he flies around. And I'm going to just say, y'all, everybody I know who flies around a little bit here and there for a business or a job, they make pretty good money. I don't know nobody who flies around for a job who don't make some good money. Okay? It just is what it is. Okay? So what you gonna do? Yeah, she should have told him at first. I understand being concerned with how he's gonna view you. I even gonna accept that she didn't want to tell because she didn't want him to. See, the thing is, we don't know how big that bill is, y'all. Okay, we don't know how big that bill is. That bill could be a very big bill, could be a small bill, but that bill could be significant, man. Okay, she might have $200,000 in debt. You never know, and I don't think it's that big, but it's big enough for her to be doing a lot of stuff behind his back. So I'm gonna assume it ain't that small either. Okay, I got to assume it ain't that small. Because why she doing all this behind his back if it's just a small bit? If this just she owed $3,000, is she gonna go through all this trouble? I don't think so. If she owes 10 bands, is she gonna go through all this trouble? Probably not. Because again, y'all, I'm assuming he makes some good money. He possibly is a six-figure guy. All right. So why is she going through all this? You know, now I do get black women like to be sneaky sometimes without it being a big deal. Okay. You know, they like to be sneaky when it ain't a big deal. But for her, this is a big deal. In her mind, her marriage is on the line. I'm possibly getting married, and it may not be because my fiance just ain't going to react to this information the best way. And I don't have a good excuse for why I'm in this situation. I just don't have one. So I need to clean this up before it gets to him. So I'm going to go to my mama house when he go out of town, you know, and, you know, you can make some decent money with Airbnbs, y'all. Let's keep it real. You can make some decent money. You can, you know, rent the crib out for the weekend, you know, get $1,200 real fast. Eat. You ain't did no real work. Okay. You ain't did a whole lot of real work, especially if you're getting some decent customers. Cause I've used Airbnbs before. Okay. You know, I've used them for group situations. And, you know, in our group, we kind of clean up behind ourselves. We don't just leave it crazy. We clean up behind ourselves. We try to make it look like how we showed up. Okay. That's what we do. I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that's like myself and people I associate with. If you go to an Airbnb, you try to make it pretty much look like the way you found it. That's what we did. Okay. Probably going to use it again. Probably going to do the same thing again. Try to make it look like we found it. Okay. So I'm not saying she's so sneaky in a terrible, terrible way, for sure. For sure. So y'all, the question is, does she love him? I believe she does. She's been with him. She's been rocking with him in a way that he felt comfortable enough to propose to her. And I'm saying this because I know that people can have some immature thoughts saying, oh, but she's just a terrible broad. She wants the worst for him or whatever. She's trying to misuse him the whole time. We don't have no information to actually say that. Okay. We just got a small piece of information of what's going on. Not necessarily a day-to-day life thing. She's responding to a situation that she honestly believes could cost her marriage. So to her, it's extreme. Think about it, y'all. To her, it's extreme. And shout out to Ray again. He says she loves him right now. And Ray, I am acknowledging that's what it is. This is a momentary thing. Okay. It, you know, as men, we have to accept that the way women consider love, a lot of times it is a right now situation. I can't say she's gonna love him in 10 years. I can't say she's gonna love him for life. I can't say she's gonna love him for decades. The only thing I'm gonna say the only thing I could believe at this particular point, I do believe she loves him for right now. What it's gonna seem like in 5 to 6 years, who knows? She loves him right now, though. Okay, I can accept that she loves him right now. Now, how long right now gonna last? Man, your guess is as good as mine. That's all I can say on that. I do think the guy's living somewhat well, but unfortunately, that ain't enough for to accept that a woman gonna love you for any long period of time. That's just not enough information. It's sad that it ain't enough information, but that just ain't enough information They even say, well, she probably gonna be with him for the rest of her life. If I had to bet my money, I don't know, y'all. Maybe I bet on that if I'm using your money. But if I got to bet my money, I'm not betting that she gonna stay there until it's over. Okay, I'm not necessarily betting on a death do you part type situation. Okay, I ain't got enough information to do that. I bet your money, but I ain't gonna bet my money. That's for sure. All right. So I just want to make sure, y'all, that we don't look at this only from a perspective that she has to be a terrible woman. She could be, quote unquote, a good woman that really has intentions on doing the right thing for herself and her future family that she's about to make with this CEO. And that's not a terrible thing. That's just not a terrible thing. Okay. She should be trying to put herself out there as better. Now, it is awful that she did not seek his leadership out on the situation. I get that she didn't do that because she worried about getting dumped. But regardless of that, a woman should seek out, especially somebody she's already agreed is going to be her future husband. She should be seeking out his leadership about how to handle this. I do believe Black women panic in situations like this and they worry about stuff that didn't even need to be worried about. Because a lot of men ain't going to necessarily blow a gasket over something like this, especially if it's debt that had nothing to do with him. If she has debt from the past that she collected and it's truly from some stuff that really didn't have anything to do with their relationship. And see, this is where some tough calls got to be made. Her debt could be quote unquote innocent debt. Had nothing to do with what's going on before they got into a relationship. I don't know how long their relationship is. Maybe it's a shorter one. Maybe it's only been a year they've been together. Maybe a year and a half. And he about to go ahead and take the plunge. This could have been from the poor decision she's made before they got together. Now, the thing is, if she collected a good amount of this debt while they have been together, then that kind of changes what the situation is. And I believe he's going to look into where the debt came from. Wait a minute, you made this purchase on this day? We had already been together 7 months. And by that point, why would you make this type of purchase on this day? See, I think things like that may actually get looked into. Because she's afraid for a reason, y'all. I'm going to say that. She's afraid for a reason. All right? He may be an extremely thorough individual, and she knows that, which is why she made these moves in the first place. Understand, y'all, there's a reason she made these moves. You don't just make these moves out of nowhere. She tried to hold on and make this wedding happen. But she had to think to herself at some point, what kind of man am I about to marry? And she believes he's going to find out. Think about that, y'all. She believes he's going to find out. So I want to make some of this go away before you look at me different. So I don't know what dude do. I don't know how much attention he pays to her, but she has a belief that he gonna find out. All right. Probably a good belief to have. Okay. Probably a very good belief to have. So is she doing things with the best intentions? I think there's a good chance she actually might be. All right. Not saying her method is good, but she actually might be doing these things with the best intentions. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't listen to men, especially when they Black. And even though they have the best intentions, they create worse situations. I definitely know that women make a lot of situations worse because they just don't listen or they just don't even come to a man with the proper information. Now, if she would have went to this guy, he probably could have resolved this stuff in an easy way that don't really hurt them as a couple, regardless of how much debt we talking about. All right. This could be 30,000, but the income might be good enough where if she actually trusted him the way she should, this may have been no big deal. Now, I've always thought about things like if a woman has debt and she's marrying a man, all she got to do is marry the man. And then if she's already earning money, which I would assume she's earning money if she's coming with all this debt, all you got to do is live off your husband's paycheck, okay? And you use the woman's paycheck to pay off every debt the couple has. Now, this sounds easy, but we talking about black folks, y'all. I know what I said sounds easy, but we talking about black folks. The unfortunate thing that black women need to become more aware of, we can't trust y'all to do, as black men, we can't trust y'all to accept very simple plans. It's because we're black men and you have a general disrespect to black men that you won't just do very simple things. You know, a couple should be able to thrive. Real talk, y'all. A couple should be able to thrive. You get with a man, you live off his income, you use the woman's income to clear up every debt. A married black couple shouldn't really have debt to worry about if both people work. And I'm just keeping it real. They really shouldn't have debt to worry about if both of them working. You know, and people may say, well, women don't make that much money. If she making $30,000 a year, okay, I'm not saying she got to be making a bunch of money. If she making $30,000 a year, you can't use $30,000 a year to clear up the debt of a couple. Now, maybe the debt of the couple is $100,000 between the two of them, but you're making $30,000 a year. Take the paycheck, put the whole thing on the debt. Okay, you work the debt off. You live off the husband's salary. There should be no stress. Nobody should be growing old behind this debt. Nobody should have to panic behind this debt. You know, shout out to Mr. Suge to you. He said, the road to hell is usually paved in good intentions. And I do think this is kind of what's going on with her particular situation. She put herself on the road to hell because of her quote unquote good intentions, that she don't want the man who will become her husband to find out just how much debt she's been building up over the years. I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. Most men should have the understanding that a lot of women are just gonna be irresponsible when it comes to money. And I know people will say, well, that don't sound right. Some people will say that's even being sexist. No, America as a collective is irresponsible about money. Okay, let's just keep that real, y'all. America as a collective is irresponsible about money. So if you happen to live in America, and shout out to all my people listening around the world, appreciate y'all. But I'm keeping it real over here. If you over here in America, most individuals are irresponsible about money. Now, as we become more responsible, we start adhering to real situations that may come up. Now, this usually happens with men first because men understand consequences a little bit easier than women do. Okay? We got to start making tough decisions. Okay? Shout out to Dr. Dunbar. I see you in the building, my brother. Always good to have you, even as an audience member. Shout out to Dr. Dunbar. Okay? And matter of fact, let's see what Dr. Dunbar says on this, y'all. He says, good morning, Roger. Look like he done made a statement about it. He said, yes, the rub is that it takes discipline, delayed gratification, and focus to do that. Plus, most of the women are herd creatures. Now, Dr. Dunbar is making a great point. Okay? And because they do have this herd mentality, they want to do things like their friends did things. They want to do things like the internet people did some things. They want to do things like the celebrities did some things. So just making a good decision about how we going to handle debt, it makes it extremely difficult if you're a black man with a black woman. Okay? And y'all may be saying, man, you really stressing that black part. Not realistically, black women don't give this type of trouble to other men. They'll just do what the other men say. Okay? It just is what it is. Black women respond very differently than non-black men than they respond to black men. And the thing is, black men don't really let women know that it's their fault that they get treated this way because of how they act about stuff. Because again, if you have a couple that's married or you're going to get married, all you got to do is live off the husband's income and take the woman's income and put it toward the debt. Everything get cleared up. It may not get cleared up in a year or two. You know, it depends on how much they owe. But everything will get cleared up. Okay? Now, think about this. You can even have a mortgage, right? You get married as a couple, you pick out a house. But you get a mortgage that the man can pay on his own. The woman, you take the woman's income, you pay off all your other debt. Now, once all that's paid for, boom, then she could really start knocking that mortgage out with her income. Now, I'm not saying she'll be the person actually doing it. I think men need to kind of deal with the money issues, unless you have a woman that's like really into money. Okay. I'm not saying it's bad for a man to delegate the money situation to his wife if she's very capable of it. But understand that's your responsibility. You delegated that to your wife. Because a lot of women move differently when, especially if a non-black person calls them and say something about debt and what they owe a company. And because that non-black person, they're going to respond to them differently. They may make decisions that not is necessarily the best decision because they worried about or have concern for that person who said X, Y, and Z on the phone call. And they don't necessarily make the best decision for the household. They make a decision based on keeping that white person on the phone call happy. Now, this is a real thing. A lot of people don't think about stuff that this, a lot of people don't think about things in this way. They're going to react differently. If a white woman calls, a white man calls, an Indian man calls, an Indian woman calls, anybody but a black person calls, they're going to look at stuff differently because it's going through a filter of a non-black person. Okay? I know women do this, y'all. All right? I know women do this. I'm not guessing. I done worked in all kinds of little spots and I seen the results of women making certain decisions. You could just see based on who calling, they respond to things a little bit different, which is why I wouldn't put my woman in charge of all that type of stuff. I'll do it. Okay. I don't like her making promises to strangers like that. I handle that because I ain't gonna never feel pressure about no call. That's just not my world. I ain't grow up with money. So, I didn't owe some folks and folks done call me. I don't feel no pressure. All right. Person tries to make me feel bad like I need to pay right now. I literally told them, hey man, if y'all go out of business before I can pay, I'm good with that. I ain't saying that's the best answer. But I'm just keeping it real. I done told folks straight up, hey, if y'all go out of business before I can pay, I'm good with that. Okay. And y'all listen to Trust, y'all. Listen to Trust. Darling of the channel is here. She say, hit the like. Okay. Y'all hit that like. Because y'all do be shady on the like sometimes. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like. Okay. It don't cost nothing, y'all. That's the free part right there. That's the free part. I give you this great content. Y'all could at least hit that like. Real talk. And if you go to anything I've done, you make sure you hit the like. I don't care when you did it. Just hit that like. Okay. Hit that like. Real talk, y'all. All right. Now, shout out to Ray again. Ray says, been there, done that. She paying no bills and can't pay off a credit card, but she in carts, Amazon carts, brunches, and hookahs are still being bought. You know what? These type of things do happen, and that's why I tell y'all, put your woman on an allowance, man. Just put her on an allowance. Handle the bills and stuff yourself. Just put her on an allowance. So if she go out there and she gets her hookahs, she can get that out of her allowance. She can go to them brunches, out her allowance. She want to buy that stuff that's in the Amazon cart. She can do all that from her allowance. Okay? She can do all that from her allowance. But if she's not the best with money, and I get it, you love her, she ain't the best with money. She gonna do what she do because she is who she is. You want to make sure the damage ain't that severe. Okay? So you give her allowance. Y'all make money. If you're a couple and both of y'all got a job, when you get paid, y'all getting a little allowance, and then the rest of the money goes for what needs to be handled. When she get paid, y'all get a little allowance, and the rest of the money go for what needs to be handled. You know? And if you can get a woman that cooperates, you can basically take her paycheck and just use it to pay off all the debts. You take care of the stuff that you need to take care of, and you use the extra to pay off the debt. It's that simple. Now, some of you may say, well, what if you can't pay the mortgage or the rent with just a man's income? Number one, don't go into that place. Okay, you got to make some tough decisions for a while. Y'all, I remember married couples used to talk about their first home. Because there's at least was some hope of getting a second home. I'm not saying way back in the day. I'm saying, maybe in the late 90s, I used to hear couples starting to talk like that. Yeah, we're going to get this as a first home, and eventually we're going to be all right. We're going to get a second home. It's going to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's okay for us to aspire to some greater things. It's okay for us to aspire. All right? But it's hard to get to those greater things when you putting every dime you got into stuff that needs to be paid for right now. Okay? It's hard to save up for a down payment on a second home if every single penny you got to leave right now. Y'all. And there are people out there that I call spendocrats. Okay? They got to spend everything. Okay? I remember my daddy used to tell us when we was kids, we start getting some money. We kids, of course, we're going to make irresponsible decisions with money as kids. And he'd say, man, that money burning a hole in your pocket, ain't it? Okay? That money burning a hole in your pocket. Meaning we get some money. We got some money in our pocket right now. We just can't keep the money in our pocket. We just got to figure out how to spend this money simply for the fact that we have it. I got to spend it. I got to spend it. I got to spend it. Now, this woman could be a spendocrat, okay? She could be. Maybe she's trying to turn over a new leaf because she finally got a man who's going to marry her and she don't want to blow it. I do assume the man makes a pretty good income because he travels. I have yet to meet a man that travels that don't make decent money. Okay, I ain't never seen that. I ain't saying it don't exist. You give me enough time, I'll find you a guy with no legs. But I ain't never met a man who travels for a business or a job who don't make some money. So I get she don't want to blow this one. And I'm not saying she don't love him, y'all. I think that's an easy answer sometimes that people just go to too quick. She might actually love this guy. She's still concerned with her image. I don't want him to look at me differently. But she did make an effort to get rid of this debt that she has because she knows it's going to affect him. And she's sure he's going to find out about it. And I don't think that's a terrible assumption to make. If you're going to get married to a man, you got a bunch of debt, it makes sense to assume that your husband's going to find out about your debt. That's not like crazy thinking. Your husband probably is going to find out about your debt. I just think she didn't. And to her, I'm sure it's normal. And I think that's why this might be why the fiance, the male, gave this information to the radio station to hear what people got to say about it. Because the thing is, she could have just came to him. But I'm being realistic about this, y'all. These regular black folks, I think the dude makes a little bit of money, but they regular black people, man. These ain't celebrities or whatever. They're clearly not multimillionaires, or this wouldn't even be a story. So ain't none of that popping. Okay. She found a way to earn the money without working. Now, peep that, y'all. She found a way to earn the money without working. That sounds like a black woman. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. She did find a way to earn some extra money without her doing any extra work. Or not a whole lot of work, I'd say. You got to do some slight work because you have to sign up with Airbnb and, do the little things that's going to put you in compliance with them. But other than that, you good. Okay, her extra work is gonna be to a minimum. But she found a way to kind of make it happen. I don't think she did such a bad thing. I do believe if she talked with her husband, at some point, if she came up with this idea, he would, well, if she would have talked to her fiance that's to be her husband, if she would have at some point came up with this idea, he possibly he would have agreed to it. Now I understand that he said, well, she got people all in my house while I'm gone. But I do understand that was in the context of him finding out about it in a negative way. You know, he found out about it when it's already being done. He didn't have no input on the decision. And you know, when you find out something late or something's being done that you ain't gonna necessarily immediately agree to, when it's already happening, you're gonna take it in a far more negative way. Okay. Ray making some interesting comments today, y'all. But let's check this one out. Ray said that's exactly what it is. She doesn't want to sacrifice. She don't want to sacrifice brunch or work or some extra hours. You want to marry a woman that doesn't believe in compromise / sacrifice. Well, see, this is the thing, Ray. All this could very well be true because her behavior is what we have to look at to figure out what's going on in her head. All right. Now, the behavior says, yeah, I ain't really trying to sacrifice too much. Her behavior does say that. I still want what I want. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to have the fun I want to have. Yeah, maybe I do want to get. I'm just not turning these brunches down. Okay. The girls say something to me. They talk about brunch. We going out for mimosas and whatnot. I ain't saying no. I'm kicking. Whenever me and the girls get together, I'm kicking it. It is what it is. And she probably been doing that for years at this particular point. Now, we don't know what it actually is, but it could be those things. Okay? She going to brunch, y'all. Just is what it is. Every time they say something, she going to brunch. All right? It's what she going to do. But I don't want to be such a terrible person that excuse me. I don't want to be such a terrible person that when I put this stuff on my husband, I don't want it to get out of control. But I got to say yes to these brunches because I have an image to uphold. And that, unfortunately, is something that happens with a lot of women that a lot of guys don't think about. She has an image to uphold. And a lot of times with women, I found out they'll put themselves in some extremely tough situations because they're thinking about their image. You know, and I've told y'all time and time again, there's nothing more important to Black women than their image. Okay? The general Black woman does not care about her husband more than her image. She doesn't care about her child more than her image. Okay? There's very little a Black woman cares about more than her image, if anything at all. Okay? If anything at all. And I'm just keeping it real. I see the behavior they make. Image plays a huge part. She said it in this particular, when she gave this man her response, it was said she is worried about her image. I was concerned with how you were going to view me when you found out how much debt I actually got. That's an image answer, y'all. That's an image answer. I was concerned with how you were going to view me when you found out about all this debt. That is her being concerned with her image. Now, it's nice that this concern somewhat included her husband to put things in a better light for them if they actually go through with the marriage. That's nice. It's a cool byproduct. But according to the response that we know about, it was still about her image. I'm concerned with how you are going to view me. That is my concern. Now, y'all, is she a terrible woman? Not necessarily. I'm not going to say she's a terrible woman. Is she making bad decisions? Yes. What sister don't make bad decisions though? See, now we got to get to the real part. What sisters ain't making bad decisions? I'm giving her some credit because she at least got this man to become her fiance. Okay? That's a real thing. She at least got this man to become her fiance, which means she's doing something right. She's not all the way wrong. She's not all the way wrong. Okay? But you ain't finna get out here and meet no perfect woman anyway. That's just not gonna happen. Okay? I don't care what woman you meet. You ain't about to meet no perfect one. Okay? So you got to pick your poison at the end of the day. She is good enough that this man proposed. That says something. Okay. Y'all know I don't make it no secret that I got higher level of respect for women that become wives. I don't keep that a secret. She was doing whatever was necessary. So at least she has been proposed to, and she's on that road. Okay. It still could happen for her. Yeah. This whole situation might tear it all down, but it still could happen for her. He ain't necessarily made a decision yet because he's putting this out to the public so he can hear public opinion about the situation. She might be all right at the end of this. She might be all right. Now she might end up, this relationship is totally over with because she done went too far. Okay. I'm kind of laughing at Urban Reed. Yo, I don't know what you meant to say, but you said she can't get, she can't get something credit from no 475 credit score. Look, man, her credit score may not be the best. Her credit score may not be the best. But okay, he was saying she can't get no credit from me with the 470 with the 475 credit score. Hey man, the thing about a credit score is they can always improve, right? They can always improve. And I do believe her situation would have been better had she told the guy. If she told the guy, her situation comes out a lot better. I don't know if he necessarily agrees to the Airbnb. He may have, y'all. He may have. Okay. Now, Watch Get a Man Cave said he needs to get her credit report. I would have to agree with you. If a woman pulls a stunt like this, I need to see that credit report. Real talk. Okay. I need you to get all your information so we can see just how bad it actually is. I'm not going to necessarily get rid of you. Okay. Because the man loved her enough to propose. So he's not going to necessarily get rid of her. But I do think, depending upon what information he finds out on that credit report, that could change the game. Now, I've told y'all before, a woman tell me she got too much debt. We just done talking. Okay. I don't want to hear nothing about 6 figures of debt if you ain't bought a house. That's me, y'all. Okay. If you got 6 figures of debt, but you own a home, or that a lot of that debt is tied into a home, I can understand. But if you got 6 figures of debt and you don't have a house, I don't want to talk to you. Just is what it is, y'all. I don't want to talk to you. All right. I ain't really trying to help you like that. All right. and it's an unfortunate thing that when, as a black man, I do understand if I get with a black woman, let's say she does have 6 figures of debt, but no home. I can do a whole lot of stuff to prioritize things that she owes so we can get all this debt gone. I can do a lot of stuff to try to prioritize this debt. But I do understand that once her debt is in good enough shape for her, then things will change between us. Because when you marry a woman who has these quote unquote great needs, you don't know what she gonna do when you clear up some of these great needs. It's like marrying that fat woman. Okay, you marry a fat woman, y'all cool because for whatever reason you decide I'm gonna marry this fat woman. but let her lose some weight. She take off 100 pounds. Oh, she finna act funny. It just is what it is, y'all. It just is what it is, you know. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, if you get with a fat woman, help her lose the weight, she'll love you and respect you from all. I ain't never heard no story about a fat woman who lost the weight and then she actually treated the guy that she was with at that particular time great. I ain't never heard that story. Every single time I hear a story about a fat woman who lose some weight, she always acted a fool because she lost some weight. That's just what happens. Okay. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to personally expect to meet some woman in this great amount of debt. I help her get rid of this great amount of debt, and she's not going to act funny on me. What? Y'all, I get it, y'all, but I tell y'all, we shouldn't let our egos get out of control. Okay, you got to have an ego, but don't let it get out of control. My ego is not so big that I believe I'm finna be the first guy to get with a woman. She owes some serious money. I do what I got to do to help pay off some of this stuff that she owed. I get a significant amount paid off, and she not finna act funny on me. I don't believe I'm that guy. I could be. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But am I finna be the first guy that helped the woman get into a much better situation and she not gonna act funny on me? I'm not willing to bet on that. That's just real talk. I don't have low self-esteem. Some folks will be like, man, see, you don't think highly enough of yourself. No. Her situation ain't about me. What I think about myself ain't got nothing to do with her in this scenario. Nothing. Okay? I don't control her inner thoughts. Me helping her get to a better situation don't make her be a better person. Okay? That ain't got nothing to do with her. And people try to say, well, man, you got low self-esteem. No, I don't. My self-esteem is fantastic, but I do understand it's self-esteem. Okay? When it comes to her, I am not self. When it comes to her moves, I am not herself. See, I'm me. What I'm going to do after I pay off if I pay off a significant portion of her debt, what's going to happen between us, I only control what I do. I have no control of what she does. My self-esteem ain't got nothing to do with her. And a lot of people, they say that because they're trying to manipulate folks, but a lot of people just ain't even smart enough to understand what they actually saying. Because they're trying to tell me that my self-esteem is connected to her movements. And my self-esteem is not connected to her movements. Her self-esteem is connected to her movements, not mine. Okay? Not mine. No matter what I do, I don't get to be inside her head. I can't guarantee how she's going to respond to anything. Just is what it is. All right. Shout out to my main man, Urban Reed. He says, question. Roger, doesn't this go against finding a wife? None of these qualities are qualities of a woman raised to be a wife, in my opinion. Well, I'm gonna just tell you the truth, man. I'm just gonna say what it is, man. I'm not gonna say it necessarily goes against finding a wife, because at the end of the day, a man has the power to make a woman a wife. All you got to do is marry, and she becomes a wife. Now, the issue that he has to deal with is this woman, in his opinion, personally good enough to be his wife. I think the fact that he's putting the question out there to the public says that I really don't like what I found out. This particular thing might just tear this relationship apart. But again, that's a personal decision he has to make. Okay? I ain't saying that this is the situation any brother want to find out. But this is now a personal decision he has to make. At the end of the day, he may have enough money where it's not that big of a deal. It may not be the money part that's really messing with him. It may just be the thing about he had to confront her, and now he has to deal with the fact that, number one, my woman did not come to me as a leader to explain what the situation is. And a lot of people don't get that. You piss some men off because you won't come to them as a leader. She could have totally good intentions. But I'm looking at this like, man, Joe, you felt you were overwhelmed by this particular situation, but you didn't come to me. Now, I'm going to keep it real, y'all. If I love a woman enough to marry her, I want her to come to me. I don't want my woman thinking a situation is so big that she shouldn't come to me. I don't like women who think like that. Now, have I ever been with women who didn't think like that? That's a whole different story. But I don't like that. I think if she has a problem or a situation, that is far more reason to come to me. And that's just real talk. So I think he has a tough situation and I don't necessarily think it's the money part. Okay. Because he mentioned the money, but he mentioned his Jordan jersey being missing, man. Why he throw that in if it's just about the money? Yeah, I got some shoes missing. My Jordan jersey is missing. You know, I didn't like the fact that she had people in my home and I didn't know nothing about it. So I don't necessarily think this is a situation, at least on his end, that's really about how much money she owes. Because before he put that question out, he may already know what the debt is or have a good idea of what the debt is because he's obviously confronted her at this particular point. Now, he may have said that we're going to pull your information, and he may already had that answer before he sent this off to the radio station to get other folks' opinion. And I do believe she's trying to beg him, or she has been begging him to not end the relationship. And I believe one of the reasons he reached out to the public is just to hear what other people are going to say. Because I think, honestly, he may have truly considered, we just going to end this thing. And she just begged, look, baby, I love you. I didn't mean it in no negative way. I don't want to lose you. Please think about it. I think that did happen. Now, she may not tell folks that happened, because of image, but I think that happened. I think dude came home, confronted her in person, didn't even do it over the phone. Now, there's no way for me to know. I'm just guessing. I think dude waited to get home because his neighbor called him, and that's how he knew what was going on. I think he went home. He confronted her. I think he probably told her, pull up, if he didn't already have it, give me your social security number. Let's go through all your credit stuff right now. I think that happened. I think whatever that number is, I don't think the number messed with him the way she probably thought it was going to mess with him. It could be a big number. I think it has to be a big number for her to be doing all this. Honestly, but I don't think that number is really messing him up. Maybe it's 50,000 she owes. But I don't think he's going to kill the relationship over the 50,000. He accepted it's a woman and I'm going to have to pay for this woman. I think most men accept that. If you're not a pookie, if you ain't out here refusing to have a job, that's the only thing I mean by pookie, y'all. You're young enough to be working, but you refuse to go out there and put in some honest work. Okay? You refuse to go earn an honest dollar. You refuse to do anything that don't have your stuff in jeopardy of being taken from you by the police or some other organization. All right? So I think most men understand the woman gonna cost you. She's a good liability to have. Most women. Are there some women out there who would actually be an asset to you? Sure. But I think most women are just gonna be a good liability. There are good liabilities. Your children are good liabilities. You love your kids, okay? Your kids are special to you. You feel a certain way about moments they have, accomplishments they make. You feel great when your child graduates. But your child is a liability. They are a thing that takes money out your pocket. They're a liability, but they're a good liability. A great liability, really, because they're your children. They should be a great liability to you. I'll say that. There's a lot of single mothers out here. You got to question that, but your your children should be a great liability to you. Okay, but they're a liability at the end of the day. They're not gonna necessarily earn you some money. Just is what it is. Okay, so I really don't believe that the money part is what made him reach out to the radio station to hear what other people gonna say. I don't think it was the money. Now I could totally 100% be wrong, but I just don't think it was the money. Okay, I just don't. You know. Urban Reed say, she threw away his Jordan jersey, like got tired of him listening to the Roger Report. She must be a Kobe fan. I guess it could be something like that, y'all. I don't think that's what it was, though, y'all. I don't think that's what it was. I think this is just a situation where this man has to actually think about this thing, put in some real thought. Yeah, I just don't believe it was the money because I'm just being realistic, man. It just didn't seem like, based on what the gentleman read, it just don't seem like money was the thing. Yeah, money is involved, but he literally complained about people being in his house that he don't know about it. So I think that really truly bothered him. That Jordan jersey, I assume is a prized possession. Okay, that's what I'm going to assume. If I had a Jordan jersey that's signed by Mike, I'm pretty sure it would be a prized possession for me. Okay, yeah, and y'all, there's Jordan fans because they just love Jordan. You got to understand, some of us are Jordan fans because the guy played for our team. Okay, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a Jordan fan because you just recognize he was great, but it's a little bit of a different attachment when he actually played for your team. He won your city the championships. All right. Hey, I respect Tom Brady, but Tom Brady won rings for another organization that had nothing to do with my city. No matter how much I respect Tom Brady, it's never going to be like if he did it for the Bears. It just ain't going to be that way. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, y'all. I'm just saying if you're a person that's from here and you into the Bulls like a person who's from here, and we got Mike who played for our team and won us championships. Now, at some particular point, you actually run into Mike, and he actually signs your jersey. Okay? That's a heck of a thing. Okay? That's a heck of a thing. I ain't never seen Mike in the streets, y'all. I just ain't never did it. At no particular point. I ain't never not once seen Michael Jordan. I was born and raised in Chicago, man. I ain't never seen dude in the streets. Never. So now you got a guy who actually got close enough to Mike at some particular point with the jersey available for him to sign it. Now maybe he went to a autograph signing. It could have been something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something like that happened. Maybe he bought some really expensive tickets at some point. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the case because I think this wouldn't be a story about him about to get married to a woman if he was that older because Mike ain't played in a long time. Okay? It's hard to meet Mike. Okay? I ain't said I personally gone out tried to meet Mike, but he not the dude that you just run into. Okay? He ain't that dude. Okay? If I had a signed jersey, man, and my woman got my jersey stolen, I'm not going to even say she did anything wrong. She just had the Airbnb thing popping. Somebody found my jersey. I understand the person who was renting. I get them taking the jersey. It's a signed autograph jersey here, y'all. Think about it, y'all. You with somebody. Hey, y'all, it's a signed autograph jersey. Who's not taking that jersey? I'm not saying everybody would take that jersey, but it's a whole lot of people who gonna take that jersey, y'all. It just is what it is. It's a whole lot of people who gonna take that jersey. It's some very normally honest people are going to take that jersey. Okay? Why? Because it's a Michael Jordan jersey. It's all it is to it. All right? It's just a Michael Jordan jersey. That's a whole lot for anybody to just pass on. Now, let me say shout out to my main man, Louis Kanye is in the building. He hit me with the $10 cash app. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Also, shout out to my main man, Irvin Reed. Appreciate you big time, y'all. Irvin Reed said, Popeyes on me. Long live the habitual line steppers. Long live Negroes in the wilderness. He also said, y'all, Irvin Reed a great supporter, man. So when great supporters do stuff, you just got to roll with it. But right after saying, long live the habitual line steppers, long live Negroes in the wilderness, Irvin Reed say, Kobe. He just had to throw that in there, y'all. Kobe. Now, I don't know what part of this we got going on right now that got anything to do with Kobe, but he had to stick that in. And the way I hear it, I mean, it's a text message, y'all. I don't know how he meant to say it, but the way I hear it, it's like somebody shooting at the trash can. You make the shot, and you come behind Kobe. That's how I heard it, man. That's how I heard it. That's how I think he meant it too, y'all. I do think he meant it that way. I really do think he meant it that way. But he a great supporter, so I'm gonna let it slide. But I think he meant it that way. And he said in the comments right now, you heard it right. So he's confirming that's how he meant it. I don't know what Kobe got to do with this, though. I don't know what Kobe got to do with this. Okay, I really don't. But I gotta let it slide, man. I gotta let it slide. All right, y'all. Hey, Lady D is actually back, y'all. Lady D is actually back. Lady D, I'm gonna read your comment just because you actually back. Okay, let's see what you saying here. Let's see what Lady D is saying. She's all right. I'm gonna try not to laugh at her, y'all. I'm gonna try not to laugh at her. And you know what, Lady D? I don't care. I'm still glad you're here anyway. Okay, I'm still glad you're here anyway. All right. She say Tom Brady, the white man, the professional football player who deflated footballs and is still considered an American hero. Well, yeah, that's Tom Brady. That is Tom Brady. She put in one more comment too. I'm gonna see what she said, y'all. She said, if Tom Brady were a black man who deflated footballs, what do you think would have happened to your black A? I ain't gonna, she cursing now, y'all. I ain't gonna curse, but shout out to my mom. Shout out to my daddy. Shout out to my family. Okay? I ain't gonna do no cursing. But she said, what would have happened to your black A? Y'all know what the A stands for. You'd be fired from ever playing football and rotting in prison. Well, I don't know if they could put you in prison for that. Okay. What they could do definitely is ban you from playing in the NFL. That would be a real possibility if a black man got caught deflating footballs and actually won some championship. I would have to say that. So I agree with your sentiment, Lady D. I do agree with your sentiment. There's going to be a real possibility that he would just been banned from the game. Because they're not gonna want him to win all them championships at the end of the day. If they figure out a way if he put them in position to really stop him and it's his own fault, why wouldn't the NFL take that? Okay. So, yeah, I agree with the sentiment. I don't think they could just put him in prison for it. You would have to do something else to get him in prison, because deflating footballs ain't technically illegal. It ain't technically illegal. But I do get where you're coming from. Okay, I do get where you're coming from. Okay. Shout out to Irvin Reed, y'all. He giving out bad advice, y'all. He say, if you want to annoy supporters of MJ, just say Kobe. Okay. Now, Irvin Reed is not necessarily right. I know this statement sounds like it makes sense, y'all. I know this statement sounds like it makes sense. It is not necessarily the truth, y'all. I just want y'all to know that as a Chicagoan, this is not necessarily the truth. It sounds like it makes sense, y'all, but that ain't necessarily the truth. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But y'all, the fact that brother mentioned that jersey being missing, I mean, he's testing the water to see what other folks think. The fact that he mentioned that jersey being missing, which I personally believe is a prized possession of his. He probably grew up in Chicago, or very close to Chicago. You know, I can imagine him living in a certain areas. Maybe he actually got a downtown spot. Maybe he's in Bronzeville is the area that's been coming up in Chicago. Maybe he got a nice Brownsville spot. I don't know. I have no idea where the dude's from. Okay. I just think he living real decent. Okay. I think he living real decent. All right. So do I think the woman don't love him at all? No, I do think the way her mind is thinking right now, I really do believe in her mind, she loves this man. She loves this man, quote unquote, to death right now. I do believe that. I don't think she really tried to hurt the man. I think she may understand that his Jordan jersey being taken is a big deal. I do believe his gym shoes being taken is somewhat of a big deal because it's possible he's a sneakerhead. And I'm saying this, y'all, because he threw that in there. He didn't have to put those parts in there. When you think about what he's complaining about, or what he has an issue with, you know, it's bad enough that the woman had people in his home without him knowing about it. He going out of town. She possibly going to her mama house. And y'all see how I'm being nice about it. She going to her mama house. We don't know who house she went to while they was doing the Airbnb thing. Okay. But I'm gonna say it's probably her mama house. Okay. Or maybe she went to a friend's house. You know, she stayed there for the weekend, or she stayed there for a week. Whatever it is, because y'all, he's traveling for work. And then whatever, you can get booked on the Airbnb side. Maybe she went to a person's house and she ain't know nothing dirty at all. I'm not even saying there's another man. Then she went to the side dude house. And I'm not even saying anything like that is going on. I think she just went to her mom's. I'm just putting it on her mama. But he threw that extra stuff in to make a point. She doing the Airbnb thing behind my back. I'm not saying it ain't working, but the cost of her doing this Airbnb thing is my neighbor had to call me and I found out there's strange people in my home. Now, when you think about it, because he didn't know it, that sounds invasive, y'all. It's, people say that if their home has been robbed, a lot of times you feel kind of eerie about the home because somebody has been in your sacred domain. Okay. And I think a lot of that kind of went through his head, which is why he kind of threw it in there. Somebody has been in his sacred domain that has not been approved by him. His woman being in there, cool, she approved. But you got these strange people who's been in his home that he never approved of. So I think that's an issue for him. Now, when you throw in, they done stole the man's gym shoes and stole his jersey. That's just a whole lot right there. That's a whole lot. And there's a real possibility he could possibly. Well, I don't think he's a sneakerhead, because I think if he was a sneakerhead and he one of them people that really collect shoes like that, I think a lot more would have been said than some shoes came up missing. So I don't necessarily think he's a sneakerhead. But if you got only 4 pair of gym shoes and one of them missing, it's kind of easy to see that you got a missing pair of shoes. It's just easy to notice. Okay. But if he's like me and he grew up in Chicago and he's a real fan and he met Michael Jordan and actually got a jersey signed, yeah, that's gonna be an issue for me. I'm gonna keep y'all. That's gonna be an issue for me because I probably had to go to an autograph signing to even make that happen. Okay, I probably had to go to an autograph signing to make that happen. And again, y'all, I only got one friend that seen Jordan in the streets. And when I say Jordan in the streets, Jordan was literally at his home. My friend just had a job where he had to be over there where Jordan lives. So yeah, I know where Jordan lives. Well, when he did live in Chicago before he sold the home, because somebody bought the home. So yeah, I know where dude used to live. Okay, and that's the only time he saw him, when he was right there by the home working. Nobody I know of has told me they've ever seen Jordan. I don't know any business people that seen him. At least it never came up. It never came up. I don't know, regardless of how successful a person is, I don't know anybody who ran into that dude. So you just don't meet Jordan like that. So for me to have a signed autographed jersey, and now it's missing over some Airbnb people that I never proved to be in my home, man, that's gonna bother me. Okay, at least for a little bit. That's gonna bother me. Real talk. Okay. Now shout out to Jade. He say, Roger, what's love without RESPECT? What's love got to do with it? Come on, man. Nah, bro, I'm being realistic. This guy ain't just finna throw her away. He did not write something to the radio station if he's just Xing her out. He's not doing that. So love got something to do with it in his case. I'm not mad at him for love having something to do with him because, yeah, I ain't never proposed to a woman ever. Okay, I ain't never done it. So I know you got to truly, truly love a woman in today's world to go propose. I have never been to the store to even look at a ring to buy for a woman. Okay, that's when you take it into another level. I've talked to a woman or two about marriage and how that may go, but I ain't never been to the store to even think about it. You know, that whole thing about 3 months of your salary to buy a woman a ring, I don't know if I would ever even consider doing something like that. And I'm just keeping it real. You know, I don't think I would spend 3 months. I don't think I would spend 3 months of income on a ring. I don't think I would. Okay. But yo, I'm at a point that I'm older. When you're younger, you'll do more stuff like that. You know, I mean, if we being realistic, when you're younger, you'll do more stuff like that. So, but at this point in the game, I don't even think I would even consider that. I just go get a ring, and that's just the ring. It is what it is. How much it costs, I don't think I would even consider for real. I'm just gonna go buy a nice ring, and that's it. You know, the only way I would consider the cost if it for me costs too much. Now I'm gonna read this one more, and then I'm gonna give it to Inspired Truth Broadcast because he done came up. Shout out to Mackie Samuel. He said, at the Roger Report Live, did you mean fiance? A woman who is engaged to be married rather than fiance. The management of the management of money to make more money. Direct the use of money or maintain wealth. Okay, y'all. I obviously didn't I put, well, I did do this broadcast rather quick, so I probably threw the wrong thing. Yeah, matter of fact, I can see the title now. So I got you, Mackie Sam. I got you. I did mess it up. My bad. But I think y'all know what I meant. I'll change it after the show. Okay, so I'm not even taking this as criticism. This could be just a brother trying to help, y'all. This could be just a brother trying to help. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Ain't nobody perfect at the end of the day, y'all. Ain't nobody perfect. You know, but Inspired Truth Broadcast, I'm going to give you the flow. You got it, my brother.
All right. Hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Salute to you, Raj. Salute to the chat. Everybody, I hope y'all having a great day. So I have some thoughts about this here for real. Like on the one hand, I think that maybe her heart may have been in the right place or whatnot, but outside of that, she just went from a potentially dangerous liability to a confirmed dangerous liability. Like the man could have gotten off of work early and tried to surprise her, show up at his crib, and then be like, "Who's these people jumping into the bedroom?" And that could have popped off into a dangerous situation real fast. There, there's that part to it. There's the other part to it is like that Jordan jersey that could have been anywhere from tens of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars, depending on what type of jersey we're talking about. If we're talking about a particular game worn jersey, that's in the millions, man. And she might not even known anything about that. Like, who says that she actually knew what that jersey was actually worth?
I mean, man, if that was a game worn jersey, and it could have been from that historic 72-10 year, or it might have been his last one, could have been his first championship, which all puts a lot more significant numbers on what that jersey is actually worth. Yeah, we don't know. He didn't give that information out, man. I'm just
Yeah,
hoping it's
I
like,
want to know. I need to. Inquiring minds need to know that one.
I'm thinking it's just a jersey he bought and he went to an autograph signing of some kind, or maybe he paid for some really, really, really good seats where you can have a possibility of meeting the players or something. I'm not gonna say he would throw that in the letter because I mean, obviously he was upset about the situation. So you never know, man. But if it was something where it was a game worn jersey, I get the feeling he would have kind of threw that in there. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it wasn't that. Hopefully it wasn't that, because that really changes what the game is. Real talk.
Oh yeah, that's some hurt there. She would have to go.
Yeah, if it's a game worn jersey, I might have cried about that one. Like, girl, you know, game away. I might cry about that one. Yo, that was gonna be the house, man. I was gonna try to
Yeah.
get the house.
Shoot, that'd be the house. That'd be the second home out there, a vacation spot.
Yeah. And don't let it be from the right game, a very significant game. This the game where he scored 63. Oh man, what? Yeah. Well, I mean, you bring up good points, y'all. It's things to think about when it comes to that. And again, y'all, I don't necessarily know it was all that, but real talk, if he was simply just a Chicago fan, the trouble you had to go through to meet Jordan and get an autograph, that was no easy task. I'm just saying, as a person who grew up here, ain't never ran into that man, ain't never went to a spot and it was like Jordan was just over here. That's not the easiest guy to just run into. It's just not. Okay, that's just the way it works. So if you ain't have money and be in money spots, yeah, you ain't about to run into dude like that. You just not.
Yeah, this might actually be a really good serendipitous thing to happen to him, like before he actually gets married, because we're talking about like life altering decisions that she's making.
Yeah. Man, I'm just saying, I know me, man, that's tough. That's tough. And I'm gonna say shout out to Sears Rye. He said Roger will put a hole in every wall. And you know what? I can't tell you I wouldn't because of what the jersey could be. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, real talk, that could have been my retirement. This is my nest egg. I'm putting this up so in case everything go wrong in life. I'm 65. We just didn't have a good run. I'm gonna sell this bad boy. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
there would not be a single wall in the house that would be safe.
You know, and it's and with my background too, my father in construction. I mean, technically, we could fix these walls. Me putting a hole in the wall is not like other people putting a hole in the wall, because you know what I'm saying. I can kind of handle that. You know what I'm saying? If I want a professional to do it, I can just call my dad. If it's got to be a professional. So yeah, man, walls would have to be. The walls would be afraid for a while. That's all I'm saying. The walls.
Now, I'm not saying that we condone violence toward walls on this channel. We don't want the wall
Exactly.
contingent coming for us.
And I'm not saying I would actually do it, but Lord have mercy, I'm gonna at least think about it. Real talk. I'm gonna at least think about it. Shout out to Urban Reed. He say, if you make a compelling argument, I may change my mind. He also said, I differ to my elders and higher educated. That means it's an intervention. Say it with me, Roger. Kobe. I'm gonna say Kobe ain't got nothing to do with this situation. This jersey would be worth far more than a Kobe jersey. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna say on that, y'all. This Jordan jersey is worth far more than just some random Kobe jersey. Yeah, even though Kobe done passed away already, ain't gonna be no more new Kobe signings. That Jordan jersey is gonna be worth a little bit more. And as a person who grew up in Chicago, I know for me to have gotten a Jordan jersey signed, that's a job in itself. That's an event. You got to make that an event. I'm going out here to get this jersey signed because Mike ain't signing like that, y'all. I ain't saying he ain't a nice guy. I ain't saying he don't never sign nothing or whatever like that. But it's hard to get to that man about signing some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Based on what I know. That's not no easy task. You got to really set something up to guarantee you're going to get something signed. And I don't remember too many Jordan autograph signings. Real talk. I don't remember that growing up like that. That's a hard brother to get to. And he made it that. Y'all know he was a super private person. So, you know, he hard to get to. So I know I'm going to feel a way about that Jordan jersey being signed and gone. I'm definitely going to feel a way.
Now,
But
this is the pre-honeymoon period too. Like, imagine what happens after they get married, though. After like the luster and veneer things kind of fall off, what's she gonna like think of him next? What's she gonna think of him then? You know?
well, I mean, I think she's doing something right because he don't want to just throw her away. I do see that. He don't want to just throw her away. So she's doing something right. So I'm trying to be somewhat mature about this. Because this is a rough one for me. I know personally for me as a person who grew up in Chicago, this rough, y'all. You done got my jersey, even if it's just legitimately so. I'm not saying she took it and sold it off so she can make a bag to pay off some of the debt. I don't think that happened. I think she just honestly did not think this through, didn't remove the Jordan jersey from the home, which she should have if you're going to have strangers in there. Because y'all, I'm not saying nothing bad. But think about even a person like Black Uru. Not saying Black Uru would steal something. I'm not saying that. You know, we got a regard for Black Uru over here. What I'm saying is, he's a Jordan fan, man. Even if for some reason he rented an Airbnb, as honest as a man that I truly believe he is, and I ain't saying he would take that Jordan jersey, but he gonna at least think about it.
Well, consider this though. Like right now, this is like before they're married. So, like, if she doesn't respect his stuff now, what is she gonna respect his stuff when their stuff is half of their stuff, you know, off of jump?
I mean,
that's something to think about.
The world may never know. She may have blown this one. She may have. I don't think she necessarily has. But I'm being really. I think he's considering getting rid of her, or he wouldn't have wrote this. I do believe he's considering keeping her. It's an issue for him. I don't think she's safe right now. I just feel like I don't think her status of being in a relationship with him is actually safe right now. It's an issue now. You know, I'm gonna say good luck to her if she's the right one. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she's the right one. Good luck to her. I don't have no idea which way he's gonna go in this one. Because I know it would be hard for me to hear that my Jordan jersey got stolen and you literally are the reason it got stolen. And depending upon what he was planning on doing with that Jordan jersey, that really kind of changes the game. I think he's a brother that's doing well that didn't necessarily need to sell it. He might have was just going to keep it. But I do think I do believe he's a smart man who may have kept it for insurance. That in case things go wrong, I got this Jordan jersey I could sell at some point and we could be right back in the game. But my main man, Jado, then came up. So I want to let Jado get the floor. I'm going to read this real quick by Gold P. He said, Black Uru Strikes would take dang, Gold P. Dang, Gold P. He said, Black Uru Strikes would take the MJ jersey and sell it back to Roger. Roger buying that jersey off top. Hey, I'm not saying that's a terrible idea, but I do believe Black Uru is honest enough and wise enough that he would not take that jersey. But I do think because he is a human, he gonna at least look at that jersey. He gonna, hey, look, do you see him sitting hanging in the closet? He gonna pull it out and look at that jersey. Not saying he gonna take it. I think he's far too honest of a man to take it, but he gonna look at it and be like, man, I could just leave with this. I don't think he would. But Gold P is called him Black Uru a thief. So Black Uru, if you hear this, that was Gold P that called you a thief. I did not say. All I said was you're human. Okay. I am not saying you were steal at all. Okay. I don't know why Gold P out here in the public calling you a thief. I'm disappointed in Gold P right now. I'm disappointed in Gold P. I would never think you would think that about Black Uru. How dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you, sir? But let me get a flow to Jado. And you got it, brother.
Hey, what's going on, Roger? Brother, Inspired Truth podcast. Everybody in the chat. Hey, Roger, maybe I'm going to put a spin on your title. Because I know you like to play with words, bro. And you be having little, So I thought you meant that way. I thought it was finance, like this brother in this link was financing this woman's life. That's how I looked at it, bro. So I guess I looked too deep into it, man. Maybe it's just
You know what? You know what? I would like to have thought to do that because I do be throwing some double entendres and stuff out there
you do,
sometimes.
bro.
But I'm gonna say honestly on this one, it was
Not this side.
just a simple mistake. It fits me. It fits me.
Okay.
But matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it as it is. That's what I'm.
I was like, Roger did this on purpose, bro. But as a fellow Chicagoan, man, hey, brother, I don't care if nothing was missing out of my apartment, man, or my condo. I don't care if it was left in pristine condition, better condition than I left it at. I don't care. Woman is opening up your domain, your kingdom, your solace, your safe place, or whatever, any other little thing you want to put on your house, man. If she's opening it up to people I don't know without my approval, hey, that's my enemy, man. And again, I push a hard line when it comes to stuff like this because I know like little stuff like that, that's not innocent stuff, man. And Roz, I know you say like stupidity is a choice. I kind of I see where you're going when you say that. I kind of look at it like either you think I'm stupid or you're too stupid to be with me. That's how I kind of give it two choices with women or friends or anybody like that. Like either you're very dumb to do something as foolish as this, or you just think I'm dumb. Because I'm not buying it, man. And I used to always think, man, like, I kind of look at this as far as, I'm jumping all over the place right now, but I kind of look at this with baby mamas, anti-family women and stuff like that, especially with young children, whatever. And I used to always, you know, I don't want to say turn my nose up, but I was always averse to being with them, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't like it. And also with women with tattoos, man, I look at that and I still look at it that way, to where a woman has to go off in somewhat of a secluded place. Sometimes it could be a public place, but you go to a secluded place, usually it's with the man most of the time as far as tattoos, certainly with getting pregnant and having a child. And you go off and do something between you and that other person, and then you come back with something to show for it. Let's say a woman gets a tattoo on her breast. She went off in some room somewhere with some dude and they got very intimate. I mean, not sexually, but they got very intimate, and she came back and she had something to show for it. You know what I'm saying? You kind of opened yourself up to this other man. And as far as I'm concerned, you're supposed to be just opening yourself up to me. And again, I'm being real. I gotta be realistic, man. Most of these women out here are not virgins. So, but I'm just saying, I kind of always looked at it like that. This woman opened up this man's house to other people, and if you go that far to like withhold information or hide stuff and be sneaky like that, this person will get you unalive, man. If the circumstances were right. So I don't look at it as innocent at all. You are enemy, and you got to get away from me. And I got to get away from you. I'll put it that way. And I guess I'll end right there. Thanks for having me up, bro.
Hey, strong and good point. That's all I'm going to say. Very strong and good point. Now, just for the record, because, me and Gold P mess with each other, y'all. So he says, for the record, Black Who Strikes is a CPA. He ain't stealing. He making a business deal with the man with the greatest show on earth. The Roger Report. Hey, man, if Black Rule showed up with a signed Jordan jersey, I ain't asking no question. I ain't saying he's thief at all, y'all, but I know I ain't asking no question. I ain't asking nobody where you got it from. All I know is you got it. I don't need to know where you got it from. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, y'all do that what you will. But no, I think you make a very strong point. Because one of my issues too, y'all, was that she did open the home up to these men. And you do have to consider, where did she go? Now, I'm going to give her some grace and say she went to spend the weekend or the week, depending upon what the situation was, at her mama's place. She didn't necessarily go somewhere where she had no business going. She could have went to a sister's house. She could have went to a friend's home. There's some options. But it is going to come across my mind, if she's doing Airbnb, where was she when the people rented the place out? I'm not going to feel good about that, y'all. And I'm just keeping it real. Why do I need to wonder where my woman was for a weekend or a week or so when I was out of town? Because when people go out of town, it's like, you go for a week, you may go for 2 weeks or whatever the case is, especially if it's something that you frequent. So where was she at when I was gone?
Good
These
question.
strange men is coming in my house, man. Where was she at? I need to know this stuff. Now, I just mentioned the other day about a young lady that I let live with me, and we had an argument, and she said that she had to go to her friend's house for a night, and I just said, go and pack all your stuff up. Ain't no point in coming back. So for me to hear that my woman is either what's going on, either she's there with the Airbnb people, which ain't usual, but a woman probably could get away with something like that, depending upon who's using the Airbnb, or my woman then went to someone's home and she didn't even tell me whose home she went to. That's some tough stuff for me to get past. I'm just keeping it real. That's some tough stuff for me to get past. My woman's just going places. I don't even know what my woman is. I'm thinking I'm the leader. I'm thinking I'm the protector. How am I leading if she's putting herself in random situations by going to other people's homes? Or she's staying in the home with Airbnb folks, which I don't think is usual, but women could get away with something like that, depending upon who's getting the unit. And I can't protect in no situation like that. I don't even know where she at. I don't even have an idea of where she is. If she ran into an emergency and I tried to help her, I would literally go to the wrong location.
Hey, Roger, that's definitely something to consider, man. Definitely something. I just want to stress that she opened up my home, my kingdom, or whatever to other people, man. Like, I don't care if nothing was missing, man. I don't care if anything was missing, man. I don't care if it was a shoestring or a piece of gum. You open my home up to try to, I guess, supposedly, allegedly, because, they could be lying, to, pay off some debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was, you wouldn't have to sneak around and do something like that if you were doing it with pure intentions. You wouldn't have to sneak and do that. But if you open up my home to strangers without my permission, yeah, you might as well open it up for like robbery. Like, you literally, she did that. Actually, they took his stuff,
Right.
but you might as well set me up and backdoor me, man. For real, you might as well just do it the hood way. So yeah, that's my thing, man. You went and opened up my domain to somebody else without my permission. Yeah, you out of there. That's easy, man.
And then act like it's a good thing, like it's doing you a solid. Like, hey, I'm taking care of us by opening up your space.
I'm just saying, either you think I'm dumb or you're dumb. I think it's the latter, man. She trying to play me for a fool.
Now, I don't know what dude gonna do, but I'm gonna say too. See, Jado, you kind of more along the lines that I'm thinking. Because I'm gonna tell you, I know this about me, y'all, and I've said stuff about this before. In a relationship, a person see you a certain way. If she sees me as it being okay to invite people into my home, once that thought is established, it's just there. It doesn't go away. It's just there now. I'm a little uneasy about a woman who thinks she can okay for other people to come into my home without my approval, because it's there now. Okay, now we may think about it in a not really she didn't really have an evil intention. Yeah, maybe she was actually trying to earn the money to pay off the debt that's going on. But you would bring your mama in here without telling me. You bring your brother in here without telling me. You bring anybody in here without telling me, because you think it's cool to just bring people in without my approval. That's just what it is at the end of the day. Would you bring somebody in to rob me? not necessarily, but the way you move, you could. Would you bring somebody in to kill me? Well, if someone was coming to kill me, that person wouldn't get my approval either. But she don't need my approval in her own mind. So me being with her has now turned dangerous. That's how I'm gonna think about it. And some people may say that's kind of overreacting. No, I think people do things because they think it's clear. You know, it's about what's going on in their mindset. That's why I've always told the dude, if a woman cheats on you, you'd never accept her. And people say, well, you know, it could work out. No. In her mind, it's okay to cheat on you because she did it once. She got away with it. Y'all ended up still together. No matter what's going on in her mind, it's now okay. It's on the table at this point.
Oh yeah, there's a term for that. It's called normalizing transgressing boundaries.
But there you go.
And they can create the story around after they've done it. They can create the story around it to make them look okay, or it was okay. Oh, I understand why they did that. You know, he hit me the other day, or something crazy like that. They'll reverse engineer something, man. So that's unacceptable, man. She might as well have taken a pistol and robbed me herself. I don't look at it no different. That's just me, right? Maybe I'm seeing too much, brother. I'm just an old, scorned person. But yeah, bro, that's unacceptable, man. That's an immediate, dismissal.
I mean, I do think there's no way in the world you're gonna get around that quote unquote eerie feeling people get when they home get robbed. I don't think that's this is gonna happen. You're not gonna have that same feeling come upon you. You know what I'm saying? You probably had that same thought process. Shout out to Patrick saying, he said, somebody been in your bed. Man, this is making me think about that old Drew Hill song about somebody sleeping in your bed. But in this case, somebody probably did sleep in your bed. They probably wasn't getting that Airbnb and did not sleep in your bed. Who knows how many people slept in your bed? Real talk. So if I didn't give my bed up for that to happen, I'm going to feel some type of way about that. Now, do I think their relationship can be saved? I do think there's a chance that his relationship can be saved, but it would depend on her being very honest with him in the future. Could I depend on her to be honest? I'm going to just say, y'all, the track record of women, well, I'm especially say black women, the track record of black women, they'll be good for sometimes 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but they usually just revert back to their old selves. A lot of them just don't really change for the better. I've never seen folks like really, really change for the better unless they have some type of religious experience or they go through some type of trauma. I'm not going to wait around for somebody to go through trauma for them to change. This whole thing about, and for me, the sticking part for me is really going to be about my leadership. Why didn't you trust me enough to just tell me what the problem is so I can just come up with a plan where we can solve it? I just don't like that idea that my woman would do something this significant without actually coming to me so we can both be involved. And I get the fact that she was scared about how he's going to see her. So I'm thinking the debt got to be somewhat big, maybe a $50,000 debt or something like that. It's got to be a huge debt for her to be going this far. I would have hoped that it's a huge debt for her to go this far.
Right, I was about to say, does it really? I mean, come on. I mean, I know you're giving her this person the little grace, benefit of the doubt, man. But it's like, yeah, she's telling you she's the leader. I don't have to consult with you. Like, I don't know how many more red flags any brother. I know we give too much grace to these chicks, these women, man. I wanted to say something else. I'm just saying, man, like, that's a violation, man. Like, that's a supreme violation. I don't care how you look at it. But again, every man has their own choice to make. He can, accept it. I think, hey, if she's running that game on you, bro, hey, good luck to you, man. I just say, hey, I'll teach you a lesson. I'll break up with you, and any other punishment I can enforce on you, I will. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll be better for the next dude. I doubt it. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I'm just saying, man, look, man, as little girls, people know what danger could be, the possibility of danger when you invite strangers into your home, man. Like they know that. She knew that as a 7-year-old girl, 5-year-old girl, strangers in your home. So she's not that dumb, man. She's playing. Yeah, I just saying that's unacceptable. I'm sorry, Roger, man. I think we give them too much, especially for stuff like that. I can see if it was something like let's say she left the back door unlocked or something like that, man, by mistake. And somebody came in and robbed us or whatever. That's something that you can, okay, she just made a mistake. But this takes planning, man. And deliberate deception. So yeah, that's just me, brother. That's just me.
Now I ain't from Chicago, but like BR, Baton Rouge, Memphis, Tennessee, a lot of these other places that I've been, it's a normal thing for chicks to set dudes up.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm going to say this did take some plan. At some point, she did sit down, and I'm assuming, I ain't never signed up a home with Airbnb, but I'm assuming at some point she sat down at a computer screen. She brought up Airbnb.
You set up the account, Roger. She set up the account, brother. She took pictures, brother. You get what I'm saying, man? And she never consulted with me, man. How much backdoor can you get? I mean, just because she didn't rob you herself, like I don't know. It doesn't get no worse than that, man. Oh, it does get worse than that, but that's sneaky, man.
Now, I mean, it's a lot of negative to that, real talk. And I'm not saying I would be mean to the woman, but I do have to consider that if you are truly this dumb. Now, I don't believe people just dumb like that, but if you are truly this dumb, because you done got my jersey stole. That's not an easy replacement item. So me, because y'all, sometimes I am a little bit of an a-hole. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm a little bit of an a-hole at times. I might have told her, look, you going to have to leave because I'm upset. And she might have said something like, well, when can I come back? Hey, just give me another signed autographed jersey and you welcome to come back.
That's a good one.
Replace my jersey and we good again. I might have said that, y'all. Because that might have been just too much for me to handle, man. You got people all through my crib. I didn't approve. It ain't like he could have agreed to this at some particular point, and it would just be way different to hear about it as somebody who agreed to it than hearing about somebody in your home that you never approved of. That's got to be tough for anybody. Because your home is supposed to be your sacred space. Real talk. So y'all got to think about it. This is like Superman and somebody that's been all up and through the fortress of solitude. Your home is your fortress of solitude. This is where you get away from the world. And she got people molesting your stuff in your fortress of solitude. They molesting your clothes like a mug because you got gym shoes missing and you got your Jordan jerseys taken. And that's the stuff that he mentioned. Because I'm going to keep it real, y'all. They took something else. You don't take some gym shoes and a Jordan jersey and don't take nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he had a nice watch missing or something like that too. Maybe he didn't want to make the letter too long, but I'm pretty sure there's some other stuff missing. Once you start taking stuff like that, you get curious. Man, look, I found these shoes. I found this jersey. Man, you finna go all through dude stuff. And that's just keeping it real. You done went past the Rubicon at that point. You going all through his drawers or whatever, trying to see what you can find. Ain't nowhere in the world you found the Jordan jersey, and you ain't look for nothing else. Okay. Wait a minute. Trail Billy, you said he mentioned a watch. Did he mention a watch?
He did say watch, bro.
See, I forgot that he even said that.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's all. I get it, man. It's already irrelevant to me. They could have left me something like some chocolates on my bed to say thank you, or thank you note. I don't care, bro. You let some folks to my house. Yeah, man. Man, women communicate in so many different ways, man. And just because they don't directly say, "Hey, I don't respect your leadership," I don't fall under your leadership, and I don't care about the safety of your home. Just because they don't say that directly, they can communicate that in different ways. And she said that, man. She's communicated to this brother. How can you? I mean, how can you go to sleep, man, bro? I'm just saying, when we go to sleep next to bros, man, we're opening ourselves up. We're vulnerable, man. You know what I'm saying? We're vulnerable when we close our eyes and some chick is like next to us, man.
Hey, that's a real thing at the end of the day. And I've said that before. For me to sleep next to a woman, that's me being as most vulnerable as I'm gonna ever be. Real talk, because you could stab me while I'm sleeping. I can't get more vulnerable than that. Women say they want men to be vulnerable. I don't tell them stuff with all that emotional stuff going on, which they be trying to get men to do. I say, hey, man, if I slept next to you, I was vulnerable. Deal with it. It is what it is. But Gold P has come up here, though. And since Gold P thinks Black Guru's a thief, I think I should get him the floor right away, because I would have never thought that Gold P would actually think that Black Guru, of all people, would be a thief. I'm a little shocked. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to let that disturb how I run the show, y'all. But I am very shocked at this man for thinking that Black Guru would be a thief. Okay. I just want y'all to know I'm shocked by this. You know what I'm saying? I'm very shocked. We kid each other sometimes. But man, I don't know what to say about this guy now, y'all. I don't know what to say about this. I respect Black Guru far too much to ever think he was still anything. That's just me, though. That's just me. But go, P. You got the flow, my brother.
Peace.
Hey, and I ain't judging you. Just so you know, I'm not judging you, man. I'm not judging you.
Peace. I always come up here in peace, but Roger off top is got that work for me. Off top.
Hey man, I wasn't trying to choose violence. That wasn't me.
No,
man.
you chose violence, sir. You off top. You choose the violence, sir. I mean, hey, you the one who said you would accept the jersey no matter where it came from. You said that. So, you're saying that Black Guru stole something. I just said he took I just said he would take it and sell it to you. That's a business deal. Now, how he got it don't matter. Remember?
Hey man. For my defense, I've put into all kinds of places and bought all kinds of stuff. I never asked nobody where they got it from. That's all I'm saying.
Why you gotta defend yourself, Roger?
I'm just saying, bro. I ain't never asked nobody where they got it from. Okay, I ain't went to Kmart. I ain't went to Target. I ain't went to Dominic's. I ain't went to Jewel. I ain't went to nobody. I done been in Neiman Marcus. I don't ask nobody where they got it from. Okay, from the cheap places.
So you are accepting. You are the fence. Is that what you're saying? You are the fence.
I'm just saying. I've been to what people consider cheap places. I've been in expensive places. I ain't never asked nobody where they got it from. That's all I'm saying.
For the record, Roger's trying to protect himself.
I'm just saying.
Why he takes the jersey?
I done been to the store where they selling knockoff clothes and everything, y'all. And I ain't never asked nobody where they got it from. I'm just saying how Roger. It is. I don't ask nobody.
No, I'm just saying, Roger. You accepted that work, bro. You accepted it. You could go to jail too. That's all I'm saying, Roger.
All I'm saying is I might buy a jersey. That's all I'm saying.
From Black Guru, who sold it to you, right?
Black Guru is a trusted individual, man. I would not question him.
There you go.
Okay?
There you go. Okay. I said nothing about Black Guru stealing anything. I said he would take it and make a business deal. That's what I said.
I'm just saying. I believe he's a stand-up individual. That's all I'm saying.
Look. Black Guru might have been in evaluating the house, that he's seen on the selling networks, advertising networks. And he said, "Oh, let me go look at this place. It's open. Oh, let me look." And he said, "You know what? I'm gonna take this jersey and sell it to Roger to help me get in this place and enjoy life for a moment." I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm gonna say shout out to Afro Merchant real quick. He said Roger bought the jersey from Show. But y'all, I'm gonna tell you this, y'all. I'm gonna tell you this. If I happen to run into somebody selling the Jordan jersey over the next few weeks,
see,
if the price is right, I'm buying the jersey. I'm just saying.
See, hey, Roger, you said if you would give the broad a chance if she got you the jersey back, right? Now, how she's gonna get that exact jersey back? I mean, it could be the highest form of knockoff. You said you get knockoff. Oh yeah, and you gonna let her back, bro? Nah, I'm with Jado, man. No, she did that. She gotta go, bro. She gotta go.
I mean, if you can replace an autographed signed Michael Jordan jersey, I mean,
no, Roger. It's not the one you got.
Jokingly. I said that joking. I'm just saying I'm an a-hole, so that's probably something I would tell her. I ain't saying it's real. Because
she came back with knockoff, and you believed it. And you believed it.
Well, let her back. I'm from Chicago. I ain't gonna believe just a knockoff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm from Chicago, man. I ain't gonna just leave no knockoff. I mean, I didn't see that signature way too many times.
She took that thing, took a picture, and got it printed. And you said, "Roger, here it is. Mm-hmm. Here it is, baby."
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. See, this is where stuff hits the fan. What would she have to do to go get a replacement autographed Michael Jordan jersey?
She loves you, man. It don't matter. She loves you, brother. She loves you. She in love.
What it take to get that jersey?
She in love, brother. She gonna get you that jersey.
Hey, I'm not even if it's a knockoff. I am not saying a woman can't get that jersey, but at the end of the day, what she would have to go through to get that jersey is gonna be something. Okay, that's not no easy replacement.
Roger, she's gonna go slang that thing in the worst way to get you that jersey, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So what? Even though I said that, am I actually gonna take her back if she could actually replace the jersey? No.
Yeah, you taking her back. You said it. You said it. You said it.
I ain't saying I wouldn't say it.
Yeah, you did. You sure said it. You sure said it. You just because you the fact that you presented it to her, you said it.
But I did say because I'm an a-hole, I would say that. I did say that.
And she likes a-holes. She likes a-holes. That's why she's gonna get it for you.
Bro, I don't even know
gonna get it for you, Bill.
You ain't finna replace that jersey, and I'm just gonna be cool with it. Ain't no telling what you done did to get this jersey.
At the very least, she's proven herself to be resourceful.
Right, Jado.
That's not no easy replacement. That's all I'm saying, man. I don't even want to know what you did to get this thing.
Hey, like Jado said, she's resourceful. Isn't she someone that is meaningful to the relationship? She's benefit. She's a beneficial liability, Roger.
Bro,
why are you trying to act like she's not, Roger?
I'm good, bro. Real talk, I'm good. There's gonna be no relationship if you get that thing replaced. You better off just letting the Jordan jersey be missing. You better off.
So you don't want the benefit, huh, Roger? Yeah, you don't want the benefit, bro.
Bro, ain't nowhere in the world I'm finna take her back if she didn't replace a Michael Jordan signed jersey. Yeah, ain't no way in the world. I
See,
appreciate
Roger?
the thought. I appreciate the thought, but I'm still a realistic person. Ain't no telling what you had to do to get this thing in place.
No, Roger, that's not what you said. We got to hold the Roger report to what he said.
But I did say that I was literally say that just to be an a-hole. I did say that too, man. I did say
Yeah,
that
but
too.
yeah, we know you are an a-hole at times. So we're gonna keep that same energy, Roger. Roger, don't be trying to get out of it, brother. You know when I come up here, I'm gonna say something.
And that's why he called Black Who a thief, y'all. I just want people to really pay attention.
See how he go? You see how he go back to that? You see how he go back to that?
Won't let it go.
Roger, you full of alpha energy right now,
you know
brother.
what?
You're full of
I
alpha
thought,
energy right
I thought more of Gold P than what he did, y'all. I
You
ain't
got
saying
alpha
I don't
energy right now, brother.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't respect Gold P to this day, but I don't respect him the way I did yesterday. That's all I'm saying.
He's still mad at me. He's still mad at me.
I'm just saying it's a little different than what it was yesterday.
Still mad at me. Still got that work for me.
That's all I'm saying, bro. Now,
hey man, hey, you guys are my guys, man, without question.
no, man, it's all good. But I mean, Jado is making some strong points, and I ain't really want to get too much into how wrong she is until y'all came up. I wanted somebody else to kind of get off and express. But I mean, really, Inspires You broadcast, you made some great ones too. The trust level for me would just be like totally washed away because the idea of strangers in my home that I did not approve of, that's just not a comfortable idea. Yeah, I'm from Chicago. That's just not a comfortable idea for me. You know, real talk. It's hard enough to deal with the cable man coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not saying I ain't never let somebody come into a home when I wasn't there. I have. But you know, that's something we usually don't do. And just to think about a person being in my home that just never got an actual approval. And honestly, I would have to go through some financial records because when she tell me something like this, I do need to see what kind of money did she make and what did she pay off, because that's gonna be an issue for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just don't believe stuff that women say a lot of the time. I know women lie on a regular basis. So to even start to accept this situation, how much did you make on Airbnb? Pull up the account. Let me see what you earn. Now let me see what you paid with this money. Like, I'm gonna go through the whole shebang with, real talk. If I'm willing to even go through it, because I may not be willing to talk to it at all about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because that is an option for me too. But if I'm going to talk to her about the situation, I'm really gonna need her to pull that account up. I want to see exactly what she made, and then how much of that money did she even use to pay off something. And unfortunately, I do believe a lot of women, the numbers wouldn't even be right if you was going even to consider keeping her around. I don't think the numbers would be right. Because if let's say she made 7,000, maybe she used 3,000 to put on the credit card bill that she's so quote unquote worried about. Because it's money at the end of the day. And people who have this significant amount of money where you're gonna do all this behind your fiance's back, can she discipline herself with that money? I don't think so. That's new discipline she would have to come up with. So let's just say she earned 7,000 and the story came out. Do I expect her to have put more than $3,000 to whatever she's trying to solve? Probably not. I'm just keeping it real. And that's probably just gonna piss me off even more. You done got my shoes stolen, my jersey gone, which for me would be, I think dude doing well, so I think it was just kind of a keepsake for him. But it also could be that thing that brings him back if he ever gets into a bad situation. If it get rough out here, I'm gonna just sell his thing. That's an insurance policy at the end of the day. It's an insurance policy, real talk. And even if you don't get what you think you're supposed to get for quote unquote the market, it still could bring you a significant number to help you get right back in the game.
Hey, Roger, let's say she made some, let's put out an extreme amount, man. Let's say she made uh 75 bands off of Airbnb and my condo out, man. And let's say she took all $75,000 of that and paid off her debt. You verified this stuff. You went through all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And are you comfortable with a wife or potential wife or fiance starting a business venture behind your back? I don't care how successful it was. And I know the answer you're gonna have, Rob. But I'm just saying, like, that's ridiculous, man.
Hey, Jado, is that a business venture though?
I mean, I don't.
No, it's a business venture. People got real businesses where they get units and use them out for Airbnb to make a profit. It's a real business venture people do.
So,
But
Yeah, but it's a
but
business venture with your stuff though.
yeah,
Like it's
with
like,
your
yeah,
stuff.
you doing the work.
no, hey, let's say
He
nothing was
practicing with
missing.
you, brother.
I'm trying to put out it's the principle behind it. Let's say nothing's missing. Nothing's missing. She was
and
doing
she
it on
made
the up and
75
up,
racks. Right. Nothing
and
missing and
75
she made
grand.
75 racks.
Absolutely. Like you might as well say your woman can become a streetwalker, bro, behind your back, man. She's just opening up business ventures. That could be.
Right,
I'm just saying, man.
right.
All right.
I mean,
We
he's
got Truth
practicing.
Teller. Truth Teller that came up, so let me let him get the mic so he can get in. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, Truth? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? I had to jump in on this one quick. Listen, man, I'm just saying, this is a very, very significant violation. I don't think she be walking no more after this happened to me.
Thank
Just
you.
so that we clear. Just so that we clear. This ain't a business plan. This is not a business decision that went awry. And from what he just that short letter, because we don't really know, I took it that that's actually his crib, not hers. But she's
Yeah.
staying there, and they're gonna get married, which means she used his stuff to make her money to pay off some of her bills before they get married, so he could take care of her. Because she couldn't convince that nigga to pay her bills before they got married. So if she's willing to use your stuff to make herself money, imagine what she gonna do to your kids. We talk about it all the time about how they use our kids against us. If she's willing to use my crib and my sign, Michael Jordan, listen, I don't even know why we still talk about it, B. When you said the sign, Michael Jordan jersey disappeared.
So I took that
She got
to
to
heart,
disappear
man.
too. She got to disappear. Roger, I wasn't even a fan of I hated Michael Jordan in the 90s, Roger. He beat my Knicks every time they played. I was angry. But I promise you this, if I had an autographed jersey of Michael Jordan and my wife or girlfriend made it disappear, I guarantee you she disappeared too. And if anybody asked me, I'd be like, she is wherever that jersey went. I don't know. I don't know. Just what it is.
If y'all find that jersey, you'll find her.
Find her. You gonna find her with the jersey.
Hey, truth teller. Hey, truth teller. That don't make you a truth teller, man, if you don't tell it where she's at, brother.
She's wherever the jersey is, man. What do you want me to say?
You ain't a truth teller, brother. You need to tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. She with the jersey. You gonna have to go find the jersey,
She with the
player.
jersey?
I don't know. I don't know where the jersey is. She's with it. That's all I know.
Truth teller gonna engage in wordplay now. He gonna.
I don't know where she went. All I know is she with the jersey, because that's the only way it's gonna make sense. That's the only way my existence is gonna make sense from this point on. She got to be with the jersey.
Say, I can't tell you where she is, but I can tell you what she had on. If you look for somebody wearing a signed Michael Jordan jersey,
you'll find her. Because there's no other alternative. She better be with that jersey is the whole point. So, I mean, we can't go against logic, can we? You know what I'm saying? She got to be with the jersey. She don't have a choice.
There's no way out of that, huh, Drew?
No, ain't no option. She got to be with it, or then we just not in reality no more. Because that's the way I'm gonna roll with it. Because if I ever see her on the street without that jersey on, then
That's when it becomes the truth. That's when it becomes the truth.
It's gonna be the truth. It's gonna be the truth. And then the police gonna ask me, where is she? She's with the jersey, officer. Wherever that jersey is, officers, where she's at.
No. If Truth Teller's here and he decides to tell the truth and the police pull up, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yeah. She with that jersey. Now, if you can find that jersey, you'll figure out this whole case.
Hey, they'll show the interrogation tapes, man, and all you'll say she's with the jersey. Where is she? She's with the jersey.
My lawyer gonna ask me, do you know where she's at? She's with the jersey, man. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Right. All I got to do is find that jersey. You're going to find her.
You find the jersey. Well, do you know where the jersey is? No, I don't know where the jersey's at, but I know she's with the jersey. So, because the only way I'm a cop to it is if they find my jersey, and they ain't never going to find my jersey.
The FBI is going to be involved, and they're going to say, hey, truth, we need the truth right now. Now, where's the jersey?
I'm going to be like, I wish you could tell me. I want my jersey back. It's an autographed signed Michael Jordan jersey. You think I don't want my jersey back? Well, what about your woman? Well, if she with the jersey, if I get the jersey back, I get her back. That's it.
Hey, Truth. That's when you hit her with, you can't handle the truth.
No, I'm going to hit her with, find my jersey. That's what I'm going to hit her with, find my jersey.
Hey, Truth, I'll get a whole bunch of men to support you, man. I'll get a jersey and we'll be rallying for you, man. Jersey.
Real talk. I'll join that too, y'all. But we got Lewis that came up, y'all. So let me let Lewis get the flow. Lewis, you got it, my brother. How you doing?
Peace to the panel. Peace to the chat.
Peace,
the
brother.
only thing I gotta say, drop her ass ASAP. She was probably possessed by the Antichrist spirit of LeBron James.
And a lot of these bronze sexuals out here that made want your jersey to go
What you say? She was out there flopping. She was out there flopping too. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Jordan jersey is a religious artifact. Nah, that is a crime. That's a capital offense. Cannot be forgiven.
Now, when you say that, I just got to say, y'all, to me, that's the real thing, because I'm assuming this guy grew up in Chicago, because I recognize the radio station. This is the major black radio station, y'all. If you got yourself a Jordan jersey and you can afford to actually keep your Jordan jersey, if you ain't in no crunch, but you got to sell it, this got to be like your top prized possession or very close to. What are you gonna have that's gonna be worth more than this Jordan jersey? You can't even say your wedding ring. You ain't even married yet. You know what I'm saying? No indication of children, so they're not more important than your Jordan. What you got that's more important than that Jordan jersey? And you a person who probably grew up in Chicago. I'm saying, y'all, this it is very significant. You know, we can laugh about it, belittle it some way, but I'm saying, as a person who grew up in Chicago, if I got a signed Michael Jordan autographed jersey, and I know you're not just gonna run into Michael Jordan in these streets, that's not gonna happen. Okay, you got to be in certain places. You got to, number one, have the money to be in certain places to be around Michael Jordan in the streets. The best thing I knew to do, if you want to run into Michael Jordan in the street, you'd have to go to the gym where he hoop at on a regular basis. But they don't just let anybody get to where he is. You know what I'm saying? Unless you handpick, you don't even get over there. You can go watch him play, but that's it. You know, he ain't the easiest dude to get around. He's just not. He never was. Okay, and I grew up here, y'all. I know he never was the easiest dude to get around. And you done got my signed autographed jersey missing. You know, and I don't think this was a money thing for Dude. I really got the feeling that it wasn't a money thing, because he really is talking about the trust and stuff that she kind of destroyed with him, man, I'm gonna have to hurt that. You know, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna hurt her, but
hey,
I ain't got no place for you without that jersey. Real talk, man.
Roger.
Yes, sir.
Ray said, "Truth teller in the courtroom like OJ."
Hey man, if the jersey don't fit, you must have quit. Okay.
Where's the jersey?
Jersey don't fit, you must have quit, man. Real talk.
Hey, I'm gonna be the prosecutor. Just because I want to prosecute truth teller. I think that would be a beautiful show.
Right. Bro, I'm saying, man, as a fan, I can't tell you how significant it would be to actually own a Michael Jordan signed autographed jersey. And you got enough money to keep the jersey. He didn't sell the jersey. He kept the jersey. Because for a lot of folks, that's a financial question. You go to a game and just a regular individual, Michael Jordan somehow see you, actually signs your jersey. Let's say you 10 years old, you're a boy. You get your jersey. Michael Jordan pick you out the crowd. He signs your jersey. When you get to the crib, that's a financial decision now. Your parents got to really consider, are they going to let you keep this jersey? Because this is a Michael Jordan jersey. If you were kids, you probably ain't going to keep that jersey. I'm just being realistic. You know, what parents, just regular everyday people, is going to really let you? Now, if your parents is rich, sure, you can keep the jersey. But if you're just a regular person, they know you got that jersey, man. Y'all think they ain't going to think about that jersey at some point in time when there's some financial crisis come up? That's not an easy thing. I'm just saying that's a Michael Jordan signed jersey is not an easy thing to keep unless you're rich. Because if problems come up, that's your bailout.
Hey, I mean, what if it was like a Will Purdue jersey or somebody like, you know, I don't know, BJ Armstrong? Like, would this be an issue?
I don't think they taking it. Only a Chicago fan probably gonna take that jersey. Is anybody gonna take a BJ Armstrong? And I got a lot of love and respect for BJ Armstrong. You know what I'm saying?
For
I love
all
BJ
those
Armstrong.
players, yes, sir. They were good players, man.
Hey,
I'm just saying, it, to me, is irrelevant. I know that makes the story great. Like we could actually make a comedy spoof off the stuff that you guys just said, like all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
But I'm just saying, like the principle behind it, I don't care what jersey. I don't care if it was nothing, man.
hey, man, Ray. I have to ask this question. I mean, it's funny, but I have to ask it. Ray said, if this was Brad, if this was Whiskey Mike, she would already be in pieces in 6 different places. Okay.
I mean, he got a point.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. I'm questioning. You know, hey, Roger, would you put her in 3 different places instead of 6?
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do all that.
Hey, you have to work, not all the work, just have to work.
I'm saying Whiskey Mike a different breed because he will marry you and then you go missing. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different breed. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different breed.
they
Whiskey
love
might
you.
do something different.
Yeah, they love you as much as they possibly can, and they'll still make you go missing. So,
Yeah, Whiskey might putting you in the ocean.
Yeah. So that is a little bit different, man. That is a little bit different. You know,
That's real different, brother. That's real different.
Because I didn't say a thing or two about people that is no longer with me, but to do it to your.
Hey, Whiskey Mike will put them in the freezer for 2 years and then take them out to put them in the ocean and feed them to the fish. Yeah. Over that jersey. Over that jersey.
Say, shout out to Trust. She said, who got that Bill Winnings? A center for the Bulls, for those who don't get it, y'all. A center for the Bulls during that time, for those who don't get it. He was a backup center while the Bulls was winning championships. And shout out to Urban Reed. He hit me with the $20 cash app. Thank you very much, my brother. But he said all this talk not about the greatest. Kobe.
Hey, man. Hey, Roger. I hope you keep that same energy for Urban Reed that you have for me, brother. You know, because you got
What you mean, man? Urban Reed
no,
didn't call Black Guru no thief.
no, Roger. No,
I mean,
Roger.
he bad
You
enough with this
keep
Kobe
that
thing.
same energy for Urban, man. No, Roger. No, Roger.
All right,
No, Roger.
We're gonna have to have a talk after the show. We're gonna have to have a talk after the show. Real talk, because Gold P is a great supporter too. He is a great supporter too. So we're gonna have to have a talk after the show. Yeah. No
guess so,
disrespect to the
Roger.
Kobe fans. Yeah, no disrespect to the Kobe fans, but y'all, we got to be real about some stuff. Now, you know what? If this was a signed Kobe jersey, maybe I'll let this go. I'm gonna just throw that out there. Maybe I'll let this go if this was a signed Kobe jersey.
See.
No, I bet dude wouldn't even say something to the radio station if this was a signed Kobe jersey. It's the fact that it's a signed Michael Jordan jersey that made this story an issue. Hey, all I can say is I honestly I wish dude well, because I know he don't want to just get rid of her because he wrote in about her, so he don't want to just get rid of her like that. But what is she gonna do over the next few decades? And I think, as much as you love a woman, you do got to consider these possibilities. What is she gonna do over the next few decades if she pulled this stunt now? And the fact that she did do it with his apartment, because I'm with Truth Teller 100%. I think this was his place. I think she was lucky enough to get invited to live in his place. They weren't married yet. I guess technically if you get married, his stuff is your stuff and all that type of stuff, but that didn't happen yet. You could at least Airbnb your own spot. Wherever spot you used to live, you should Airbnb that. Which she probably don't have no more realistically. If she was in an apartment, she probably gave that apartment up when she moved in with him. But you could have did something else to earn that money back. And I'm saying this, y'all. If dude is out of town, you're not seeing him like that when he's out of town. If he's out for a week, why didn't you just start driving with a rideshare company? Go out there and earn some money. He's not around anyway. Maybe she does have a job. You come home after work, you do some ride shares, you take that extra ride share money and you put that on your credit cards or whatever the debts are. Why not just do something like that? You're free. He's not there. You ain't like you going to the movies with him or something. He ain't there. You ain't finna go out to a nice restaurant with him. He not there. He out of town for the week. Why not just do something like that?
That is a much, much, much better option. I don't want to deny that, man. I don't, if my woman is hiding anything from me, man, that's, I don't know, man. That's unacceptable. Like you're hiding stuff, you're doing stuff behind my back, something significant as that. I don't care. Like, yeah, like what else would she try to hide? What else would she do to whatever cover up whatever shame or supposed shame that will come from her from revealing, hey, I'm in debt, man. What else would she do just to cover up her mistakes, man? Like that don't go. That don't go for me. Like this is not for the person I'm marrying, man. Like this is just some broad I'm messing around with. Okay, whatever, man. I mean, even with that though, I don't even want to give an excuse for that.
I mean, it's too close to home for me. I'm gonna
It's
say
way
that,
too
y'all.
close.
I try to look at this and give her every benefit of the doubt because the dude was considering marrying her. But even if I give her every benefit of the doubt, like she just broke so many rules. Like, I mean, we have to have a seriously long talk about this. And I'm gonna bring it up again, not about what she actually did, but I'm gonna bring up stuff about her doing stuff to make sure I can trust her doing stuff to make sure she's making the decision best for the family, the fact that she needs to actually treat me as a leader. And y'all, I think this is where a lot of black men can do better at. Do you require your woman to treat you as the leader? Because now I'm not saying he didn't do so, I'm not gonna say that she could have just been doing whatever she do on her own. But I do believe black men need to insist that you make your woman treat you as a leader. And where she clearly failed to do that at this particular point. And I know for myself, I do that. I talk with women, whatever comes up, I'm gonna get on their case anytime they didn't, respect me as the leader of the relationship. Why would you make this decision without me? You know what I'm saying? I have snapped on people, not like some terrible way, but I snapped to make it serious so they can understand I'm serious about this particular thing. I remember there was a young lady who did something as simple as making a payment arrangement with a company. And I snapped on her for making a payment arrangement. She ain't had no money. I'm taking care of her at the end of the day, y'all. She ain't had no real money. All right. Why would you make a payment arrangement with somebody and your money comes from me? I was literally taking care of her. Why would you make a payment arrangement and not talk to me first? Well, my thing is she do what a lot of black women do. They feel some type of way. She probably had somebody on the phone who was a white or some non-black person, and they do treat these people differently. And I understand, y'all. I've worked in call centers. I don't do it now, but I have worked in call centers, y'all. I know how they operate differently depending upon what color of the person is who called them. And they change up stuff when it ain't a black person calling them for sure. And they definitely change the stuff when there's a black man calling them versus how they do other people. So the fact that she made a payment arrangement with somebody without my approval, and I'm your only source of income, that was an issue for me. Because you shouldn't think that's okay. Why would you not check in with me first? Now, it's cool that she told me about it, but I had to get on her case for doing it at all without telling me first. If you don't know what to tell them people, you just hang up the phone. I never could understand why people feel so much pressure that they just don't hang up the phone. But that's a thing for women a lot of the times. I found that out after that came up with me and I started checking in about that. It is a thing for a lot of women, but it still don't make sense to me. Why you just don't hang up the phone? And call me, tell me something, and then if they call you again, then you could tell them what the plan is that I gave you. Just hang up the phone, man. And I just can't see nothing around you just hanging up the phone.
Oh wow! So she was making decisions on how to spend your money then.
Exactly. You made a payment arrangement with somebody that I did not approve of, so you literally made a decision for me from a financial aspect without my input. She didn't necessarily mean anything malice toward me, but there is a point about why would you do something like that?
Yeah, that's a problem.
You got to check with me first. And we was young at the time, but still, it wasn't about the age. It's just about the principle of the matter. If I'm the leader and you're dependent upon me to make stuff happen, somebody gives you a random call and say, well, you got this. And it was like a credit card debt, I think. I think it literally was a credit card debt. I don't care what they told you on the phone. You should have just hung up and talked to me. That's how I felt about it, And it wasn't a smooth situation. She did tell me about it, which is cool. I don't think there was any malice toward me, which is fine. But I can't develop a relationship with you where you think you can make those type of decisions without my input. That was just a bad sign for me. I ain't saying that particularly broke us up. My thing was you have to teach a woman how to operate with you. I know a lot of guys want women to already know and already be fixed, but any woman you deal with, you're going to have to teach her how to operate with you. So I made her know for sure that is a bad, bad, bad thing. And don't you ever do something like that while you with me. I don't care. They just people on the phone call doing their job. Just hang the phone up. That's it. That's all you had to do to me. So I was really pissed off about that. And I let her know that I was pissed off about that. Now, I wasn't evil. I didn't curse her out or anything, but I did snap. And I made it significantly clear to her, you should have just hung up the phone. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, any type of major deals going on within that household or whatever. I don't care if it's buying an appliance, man, or you know what I'm saying. She can handle all the trivial, very small stuff. Like she want to buy a flower for, a plant for one side, a corner of the house. Okay, cool. You don't have to consult with me. Let's say you want to buy a big screen TV. That has to go through me. If you want to set up a payment plan for something, that has to go through me. And a woman that's a wife material, she understands that. Now, for in your case, Roger, what you were just saying, yeah, of course, like you guys are young, something you can kind of train them up on some levels, man. But like when you do a deliberate plan to Airbnb somebody's stuff out, man, like I don't know, man. I can't talk around it, bro. Like yeah, there's no planning, nothing. She's not white material, man. That's evilness, man. That's evil. That's wickedness, man. I know we don't want to call it that, man, but that's what it is. And she will pull it again at some point, man. Hopefully it won't, destroy your life, but she was gonna pull it at some point again, man. They show you who they are, man.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Ray. Ray been on point today. He said, "Yep, she can't even answer the door to my place." Y'all,
Bruh, thank you, man.
now I'm gonna say this, y'all. I recently went to a married couple's home. Okay, they had a problem with something. I just told them I'm gonna replace it. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna replace it. They a married couple. I pull up in the driveway. She got the stuff at the door so she can just give it to me and I can just give her the new. Now, I'm not saying the woman was being malicious. She didn't even come off as a negative person in any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? If it matters to you, she was a white woman. Okay, if it matters to you, she was a white woman. She was married to a white man. The guy actually pulled up while I was there, you know. But the thing is, there was nothing there so you can have a misintention of what was going on. She got it put at the door so she can give it right to me. I give it right to her. She take it in the house. Basically, and I'm saying her whole mindset was this guy ain't even walking in my house. Okay, it's something they needed. Okay, but this guy ain't even walking in my house. And I think the whole thing was my husband is not here because he pulled up when I was there. My husband's not here. This man ain't even finna walk in my house. There's a certain reverence that a woman should have about you in your space, is what I'm saying, y'all. A certain reverence she should have about you and your space. So I assume they was a married couple. Okay. There was no reason for me to go into that home, and she wasn't going to even give me anything so I can have a misunderstanding about going in a home. Not that it was something against me personally. I think she just was doing that because it's any man coming to their home. Now they needed what they needed, and it was really for their kid at the end of the day. So it ain't like this can wait till my husband get home because their kid needed it, you know. And I understand your kid needed it, but her thing is, this is our sacred space. I don't need no other man coming up in my home, not even for a little bit, especially when my husband's not here. I think that's a good thing. I was actually impressed by it at the end of the day. I actually like the fact that I saw it. And truth be told, when I see black women, I would wish they would do more stuff like that, because I didn't take it as something toward me. That's just her doing that because an individual was coming. But that's the way it should be. And now I'm hearing about a story where we got this black lady who just inviting people to come into the crib. You know, ain't told me nothing. You inviting all these random strangers to come into the house, you know, and you say you're doing it for me. I'm not saying there wasn't any actual doing it for me, but your first priority was how you look. Because you said you was worried about how I would view you when I found out. Y'all, we got to tell women this stuff is unacceptable. Real talk. Okay. First of all, we black, man, and we in America, man. It ain't a whole lot of black people that got it like that anyway. Now I know a lot of people like to front on social media, but according to the numbers as what's going on in America, most Americans in general ain't in the greatest financial spot. Black people ain't at the top of the list of being in the financial spot in America. So what does that tell me? And black women, they make less money than black men. I don't know why they always trying to compare themselves to us, but I'm very much aware of that because black women keep trying to compare themselves to us. So I know they make less money than us. They save less money than us. America's not in a great financial position. What is my automatic conclusion knowing this information. If I meet a black woman, she's probably not in the best financial spot. It's just probably not the case because the numbers ain't that even put it there. So why are we fronting at the end of the day? Because to me, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's another thing to think about though. Like, if she was saying, "What would I look like?" With being in a debt situation and wanted to take care of that before they get married and whatnot. It it kind of gives you. Was she gonna look better from actually like taking his crib and then renting it out like that? Definitely not. So that kind of gives you the idea that she was never gonna tell this man.
You know what? You hitting that. That's very good. That he only because he only found out because the neighbor called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was she wasn't gonna tell him. That's what that's the conclusion I gotta come to. She was not gonna tell this dude.
Hey, but wouldn't the conversation ensue off top when it came to that kind of thing? Like, what kind of debt you have? Isn't that a general question? Like for me, if I'm engaging in a conversation with a woman that I'm digging on, well, we're going to have the conversation. Hey, you went to school. You in what kind of debt you got? What you paying off? Those kind of questions. Doesn't that kind of conversation take place?
To the average man with a black woman, you really think
Yes,
that's
sir.
happening?
Well, I'm asking. I mean,
I think in most cases it's not happening, and I think in the cases where it does happen, the woman will just probably lie, man. Most likely, she's gonna lie.
I think
No, it's
Jado hit the
gonna
nail on the head.
it's gonna be worse than that. She's gonna shame you for even asking about it.
Yeah,
She'll be
yes. But if you get past that wall, then then she'll lie. But yeah, absolutely, you're right.
I mean, I'm just trying to take a different view of this. If I'm interested in this woman, and time is going by, well, we're going to have a significant amount of conversation to really get involved. I mean, into what our direction is going to be. And there are pertinent questions that are going to have to be asked, even if she's going to not tell the truth. But you, as the man, can gauge which way you're going to go with this, and instead of getting hit over the head with something potentially later, even though you still can, regardless. I'm just trying to put this together, how a man should move, and I guess this goes with vetting, right? If we're to lay down some line of vetting, these kind of questions would have to be pertinent to the relationship being substantial. Am I right about that, or?
No, I think you're right, and I'm just gonna say legitimately, what I would do with a woman if I'm looking at her for a relationship, I honestly assume every single woman that I'm with is broke. Real talk. And I'm just gonna start it off. Look, we live in America. I know too much about the numbers. I just assume you broke. So just tell me how bad it is. Don't be fake with me. We really can't have no real situation if you're not gonna be honest. So just tell me how bad it is. Okay, just let's look at, if you don't know what your situation is, just look it up and just see how bad it actually is. My thing, I just don't expect to meet no woman with no money. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. Now it technically could happen, just like I could come across a guy with no legs. But I don't expect to meet no woman with no money. I know what's going on in America. The average American is living check to check. The average American cannot handle a $400 emergency. What is the possibility that I'm going to run into some random person, and a woman at that, and she ain't broke? So I think that, you know what I'm saying? As y'all know, I'm a big component for honesty in a lot of situations. So my thing is just try to make it as easy as possible. Look, baby, I already assume you're broke. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? So the only really thing it is for me is just how broke are you? And let me just see if I can handle how broke you actually are. And that's why I've told y'all before. I've asked these questions. That's why I've talked to women who've owed more than 6 figures in debt, but they didn't have houses. And I just told them through the door, look, man, ain't no point us going out. We not gonna make it, man. We not gonna make it. There's nowhere in the world we gonna make it. You got 6 figures of debt, you don't have a house. Ain't nothing for us to really do. Cause I'm not gonna like you enough to try to bail you out of that situation. I'm just being real and honest. You know what I'm saying? You pretty and all that. Maybe somebody else will do it for you. I don't like you enough to even attempt. I don't even like you enough to even think about trying to attempt to get you out of that situation. Because I'm just not gonna do it. Now my thing is, I'm honest with her, so I can save her time. Maybe she can meet a man who will care enough about her that he'll go through the trouble to try to change her lifestyle like that. I'm not gonna do it. This is what it is. Now you can say I'm mean
you
or
love
whatever.
her, Roger. But you love her, Roger.
Man, I ain't even with it yet for real. I'm just getting to know
No,
her.
you with her, Roger. No, you with her, Roger. You invited her into your house to where you told her, yeah, we're gonna get married. She believed it, and now your stuff is her stuff, and she put that jersey online to sell it to somebody, and Black Guru had came across and said, hey.
Look, man, I'm gonna say if I'm with her, you know what I'm saying? If we married, I'm with her at that particular point. So it really don't make no difference what the situation is. But my thing is, I can better handle a situation if I know how bad it is from jumpstart. I'm not gonna necessarily just say I don't want to talk to those women no more because she broke, because I don't expect them to have money. I actually think it's very much an unrealistic thing for Black men to think women got money. If you live in America, shout out to all my people who outside of America, but if you live in America and you know anything about the numbers, people ain't got money, man. People be front like everybody rich out here, man. Folks can't handle $400, man. People ain't got money. They just don't. Okay? That is a reality. You know, I know we all want to come off like we got it like that. And I'm not going to say I say this about my channel, y'all. Real talk. I do say that the people who come to this channel, you know, are usually doing better off than most folks. But when you think about the average American is in a dire situation. If they miss one paycheck, all kinds of stuff gotta change in their life. Real talk. If the company just did something and the money got messed over, yeah, we paid y'all, but unfortunately, we did something wrong. Y'all will get y'all checks. You know, by the time you get paid next week, you'll get both checks. If they said that to most Americans got all type of decisions they got to make. It's gonna be very unusual because your check got pushed off for 2 weeks. Now they gonna give you both checks in 2 weeks, but you still gonna be kind of messed up in the game. That is the reality of people living in America. So I don't expect women to have no money. Just real talk. I just don't expect it. I just need to know how bad the debt is. That's why I ask. You know, I need to know how bad it is.
Does the woman respect honesty more, or does she respect her image more? What does she put more weight on? It's
Man,
usually her image,
if
right?
that's I'm gonna say, if you, especially when you're new, her image is gonna be the most significant thing to her. Real
Yeah.
talk.
And when they become honest, they lose leverage in the situation. They want to have leverage. They don't want you to be able to say, you know what, that's a little too much for me. And that takes them to humble themselves. And you have to say, you know what, that's a little too much for me. I can't mess with you. So they would rather not relinquish that leverage, man. They want to have the leverage. So if they have to be dishonest to maintain that leverage, they will 99 times out of 100, they're going to do that, man. They're going to do that most of the time, man.
I cannot say you wrong. The only thing I can say is, y'all, I give you a chance right from Jump Street to just get it out there so it don't turn into an issue later. I give you that chance. Now, if you don't take advantage of it and they come back to hunt you later, well, that's your own fault. That's why I don't walk away from nothing feeling all sad or crying about it or nothing like that. I give people a chance. I give them a real chance. All you gotta do is take this opportunity, just tell me what it is so we can deal with it. And if you don't take that chance, man, that's on you.
I think she was a demon off top, man. That I mean, if you think about it, you have to ask: Did she really even care? You know, have any on the surface? She might say, "Oh yeah, I love you, and we're gonna get married." Blah blah blah. But below the surface, she's a demon.
She could be, man. She could be. But yo, my main man, I'm pretty sure this is my main man. Cut it up. Baby oil is here. So let me give him the mic, man. I think it's gonna get real hilarious right now, y'all. Cut it up, baby boy. You got the mic, man.
I was listening in Shanghai with my woman, and y'all didn't. I mean, I had to come up, man. I had to come up because I had to educate y'all. So first, I want to introduce y'all to Denzel Washington in Glory, because when she come with that 60 or 100K student loan, what did Denzel say? Cut it up. Cut it up. Right? When she acting independent and you know having niggas in your house, what did Denzel say? Cut it up. See, the biggest problem we have as black men is we have good intentions. And it reminds me of a famous person who said this. It was the devil, for those who don't know. And the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Right? Charity is for nuns, my people. Charities are for nuns. When you talk about marriage and you trying to be on financial lines and you have all these commitments, and then you also have responsibilities for decisions that she made in the past, you know what I mean? You're on the line for that. So you got to be strategic. You know, like if you trying to build a family and she been to the chop shop 3 times and she ain't telling you, you know what I mean? And then you stuck because you signed the marriage certificate, right? You know, she got college debt. So, like, look, guys, it is better if you insist on getting married in America. I don't know why you would, but if you insist on that, do not marry a college educated woman. Do not. That is financial death. It is better for you to go head on to Circle K and get that girl who's at the pump, who's at the cash register and eating hot Cheetos and shit. She will make a better wife in the long run than a Michelle Obama, as we see. Right? She will make a better, right, career woman like what's that whole name? Will Smith woman? Her Jada Pinkett Smith, right? That woman who is a janitor at your kid's school is going to make a better wife. I'm telling y'all. Y'all need to stop dealing with these college women. Y'all need to stop dealing with these lawyers and professional women. Let the white boys have them. Get yourself a Circle K girl. Get yourself like school teachers is kind of no, they molesters these days. So can't even fuck with them like that. So get yourself a janitor, female janitor, a Circle K girl, or like going to the amusement park, to the zoos, the women be working up in there. Get you one of them, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be on that hook. You don't want to be on that hook, and I'm gonna leave it there.
Now you definitely made me curious on what this woman happens to work. Which unfortunately we didn't get in this piece of information we got. I'm real curious about what she does for a living, if she works at all.
No, I mean she can work. She can work at basic blue collar jobs. Cash register at Walmart, right?
I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. But this woman who done did this whole Airbnb scheme, I just wonder where she worked now.
Oh, she got a college degree. She got it. No doubt about it. She got a college degree. She spoke for her own riches. No doubt she got a college degree.
Well, I
That's
mean,
that's what college women do. Oh, we gonna build financial wealth together and make financial disasters.
that's cold, brother. I ain't saying you wrong, but it's cold, you know. But I am curious about it now, and I'm not saying you're wrong, because for her to have the whole Airbnb thing without just going out and doing some extra work, and like we kind of established earlier, she just didn't want to do anything that would create a sacrifice on her part. You know, Airbnb, somebody come to your place, they stole your stuff. I was at my mama's. You know what I'm saying? If I was in a good place, I was at my mama's. And this stuff didn't really affect me at all. Possibly I came home to the home before you got back to the home. Maybe I picked up a little of this, or maybe I picked up a little of that. Maybe they left a stain on the counter. I had to get the stain off the counter before for my potential hubby to get home. But she did do it in a way where she didn't really have to sacrifice nothing herself.
I'm telling you, go ahead on to Walmart at night, 3 a.m. shift, change your life. Go ahead on. I'm serious.
I'm gonna pick me up a new chick. The next gas station clerk, it look good. I'm planting my flag.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just go ahead on and get you one of those Walmart girls, or even a hairdresser.
I'm gonna give you.
I'm gonna just say, I listen to my guy, and I'm just have to refer back to the truth telling situation. And truth teller has the best option where she's in Jersey, wherever Jersey's in. That's the best option at this point, brother.
I'm telling y'all.
Y'all don't know about truth teller. That woman in Jersey is a crack hoe. So
we gonna have to go with truth teller, brother. I've listened to everybody's scenario, and truth tellers is the best.
What, girls in Jersey?
Well, I mean, technically, he was saying you find the jersey that came up missing, you'll find her. So it was technically, at least the way I heard it, it was the girl in the jersey. She got to be in the jersey.
Oh, I thought it'd be like New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Jersey like that. Now, if in Jersey like
that'll work too. Go ahead and find it. Good luck.
Is this a play on words, man? Y'all dropping bars. That's all it is.
We have to stick with truth, man. Truth told the truth.
Well, I'm telling y'all, go ahead on, get you a gas station clerk, girl from Walmart. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a better life. You're gonna have a better life.
No. Because those same bras can do the same. Truth is got it right, brother. Truth has got it right.
I'm gonna holler at the next decent looking woman working overnight shift at the gas station.
No college debt, low expectation on life, right? Like there's this saying, right? Or under promise, over deliver, right? So if her bar is low, right, where she's working at the gas station, Walmart, picking up picking up extra shift, stuff like that, right? Her outlook on life is low as hell. Right?
You can impress her by taking her to Red Lobster, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, man. Look. She may have low ambitions and aspirations, but once she see that jersey, she's gonna see the.
Roger said something that was so true. If your father didn't buy you no Bentley, don't expect no Bentley lifestyle. So I'm pretty sure that taking her to the Chinese buffet is a 5-star meal. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, hey, look, she's gonna have aspirations. Once you take her to that Red Lobster, she's gonna say, you know what? I can become a cook. I need that jersey. I need to go to school.
I said Chinese buffet.
Chinese buffet. Well, then she will learn Japanese or Chinese. She will learn the language and decide to use that jersey to further her ambitions. Truth got it right, brother.
That is your fault. You never take an animal out of their habitat.
Oh,
that is your fault.
Hey, for the record, I didn't say that. Okay.
Yeah, I think the women take that personally. I'm not.
I didn't say that.
Calling you an animal, y'all.
I didn't say that.
He's just using something he wasn't necessarily calling y'all animals for.
It's a
for the slow
simile,
women out there.
ladies and gentlemen. You don't take living beings out of their natural habitat.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying because it'd be slow women out there. This dude called us animals. That's not what he's saying. You just dumb.
Right. You don't take things out of their natural habitat.
Well, the Roger Report does not condone violence.
Well, I am saying though.
I'm going to choose the violence right now.
If I take you to the buffet, baby, I'm letting you eat as much as you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is women out there that have an issue with you taking them to a buffet. But I'm like, baby, I like you enough that I'm gonna let you eat as much as you want. Why are you tripping?
Exactly. When the last time she been to a buffet?
Yeah.
She hasn't. She's been working at the gas station all night.
Yeah. And I do look at a woman funny if she cannot appreciate a buffet. I do look at a woman funny. Because that's a man giving you permission to eat as much as you want in front of him. You ain't got to fake no funk. You can go
Wait. Hold on, Roger. She might be thinking you watching how she eat, man. She might be thinking you watching her.
But if I take you to the buffet and you don't eat, you technically wasting the money.
Well, but if you take her to the buffet and she start eating and you see something that is out of order, like she eating too much,
you find that out right away. How's that a bad thing?
You lost $7.99. What a big deal.
Yeah. You're right.
You lost $7.99. Could you take her to the buffet? Listen. If the date goes right, $7.99 for the buffet lunch. $6.50. Well, I haven't been in America, so these prices might be wrong. $6.50 for the early matinee. Superman is playing, so $6.50 for the early matinee. Then walk in the park, and then you're done. Now,
well, hold on.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
If
yes,
the
sir.
date is bad, $7.99 for the Chinese lunch buffet, $6.50 for the matinee. Take her home, and then you still got time for the lemon pepper wings at the strip club.
Well, I'm saying Roger is gonna pay double because he out with Big Shirley. That's
okay. Well, either way, he busted a nut. Either at the strip club
so he hit Big Shirley too.
Hey man, I admitted to y'all before. I tried to hit a fat woman like that. It didn't work out, man. There ain't no point in me even going down that road. I tried it, man. It don't work for me. It just don't work for me.
Hey, Roger, but she had the jersey, brother. She had the jersey. You had to. Hey, take one for the team, brother.
Even if she got a jersey, man. I'm not built to handle fat women. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? That was a poor performance. That's all I can say, y'all. It was a poor performance.
Call it a poor performance.
Yeah. Hey, I got up and apologized and said, lady, my bad. I ain't had no business trying to do this. I should have known better. That was me listening to too many dudes like, yeah, just hit fat chickens. They always available. Well, yeah, but it ain't the same, man. It ain't the same.
Hey man, hey Roger, I respect you, brother. I respect you because some of us wasn't fortunate, to make it out, brother. We had to lay up under the work, man.
Man,
we got stuck.
I did the best I could to not break that lady. I did the best I could. It ain't your fault. I didn't have no business being here in the first place. You know what I'm saying? This ain't your fault. This one on
I
me.
apologize. That's how it was, huh, Roger?
Yeah. This one on me. I just told her what it was, y'all. This one on me, man. I shouldn't have been here. You know?
Hey, well, at least you can be held, at least you can hold yourself accountable. That's what they like nowadays.
Yeah. That's real talk. That's real
Hey
talk.
man.
I
Hey
shouldn't have been
man.
here. I knew better. I listened
Hey
to these
man.
niggas in the streets talking about a fat chick always available. You can always hit. I had no business coming over here, man. Real talk. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man. Hey, you know what? This is a great channel, man. We got some great jokes, man.
Yeah, that wasn't no joke. I literally apologized to her because I couldn't perform.
Hey, that's the joke, though.
You know
That's the joke.
Man,
That's the joke.
I tried. I couldn't get 2 minutes in, man. I just got up like this ain't working for me, Shawty.
Well,
I'm just
Roger,
sorry.
you busted 2 minutes. You busted 2 minutes. Is that what you said?
No, I didn't. That's my whole thing, man. Like this just ain't gonna work. I just got up, man. Ain't no point in this, man. Ain't no point.
You made it happen in 2 minutes, Roger? Is that what you said?
I can't even say that, bro. I didn't make nothing happen. I didn't make nothing happen. All I did was have a realization that this ain't gonna work.
Hey, Roger. But you love her, Roger. You love her, Roger.
No, it definitely wasn't that. It definitely wasn't that. You know, but I did know because she is a person. I did actually apologize to her because, I didn't want to just break her spirit. I didn't do anything intentionally to quote unquote hurt her, but to a guy to get up and leave because he like, yeah, babe, I'm trying to get into something, but I can't do it with you. That's got to be an awful feeling for a female. It's got to be a dead awful feeling.
Hey, wait a minute, Roger. Hold on, Roger. Why is it a bad feeling for them when they do it to you all day and tell everybody on social media about it? Why gotta be a bad feeling, brother?
I'm not saying that part ain't true. I'm just saying I personally do not go out intentionally trying to hurt people. But in that scenario,
would you care, Roger? Why would you care?
Bro, I ain't saying I did. I got up and I apologized. I still left.
If you apologize, you care. If you apologize, you care.
I was gonna ask the same thing, Roger. Was this before you became a ruthless nice guy? It must have been.
Yeah, Roger.
I mean, at the end of the day, I guess that was part of the making of it. You know what I'm saying?
You care, Roger.
Okay, that was the
You care, Roger.
Hey,
you care.
Hey, I was ruthless by getting up and leaving, but I was nice because I apologized.
No, you shouldn't have apologized. No, Roger. You should just be like, all right, baby, I'm gone.
Hey,
or just say, hey, you too fat. I'm gone. I can't do it.
Yeah,
you too fat. I'm up out of here.
Yeah,
she
you
know
gotta
what
let her
it is.
live with that, Roger. You gotta let her live with that, Roger. You shouldn't apologize to her because now you gave her the impression that she really meant something to you, brother.
No, I disagree. If you are trifling enough to try to have sex with a fat woman, that is on you. Because it's like, where's she gonna have the fat at? You see it when you meet her, she's a big woman, and if you can't perform, that is your trifling ass. So Roger did the right thing.
Well, Roger, you trifling, brother. You was trifling.
Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But
I'm not calling Roger trifling. I'm just saying, like the point that
you call Roger trifling.
No, bro. What I'm saying is that by apologizing and holding himself accountable, he did the right thing because at the end of the day, it wasn't like she was hiding the fat from him. Like you can clearly see it. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, she was fat. I knew she was fat, and I still went over there. That's my fault.
No, Roger. Just like you called me trifling in the conversation about Uru giving you that jersey, brother. You trifling because you got
the stolen jersey.
No. It ain't stolen. I'm tired of talking to y'all, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, I may run into a dude. This is Chicago story. I may run into a dude over the next few weeks. He's selling the jersey. I got the money. Depending on what the price is. I know good well where that jersey came from, but I ain't calling GCI so dude can get his jersey back. But I'm gonna get ready to bring it to a close, y'all, because we about to be a half hour over. But on the real, I mean, Yeah, I mean, maybe that's part of the Rufus Nice Guy origin story, which is what Afro Merchant said in the chat. But at the end of the day, man, I can only control myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I knew what the deal is. I had heard so many dudes talking about having sex with a fat woman. I thought, okay, maybe this is a possible thing. Let me try it out and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? It just, man, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, man. You know? I think I did the right thing by apologizing, because would I want somebody to apologize to me for doing something like that? Probably. You know what I'm saying? Probably, but I can't take it back. It is what it is. You know, I came the way you
Well,
was.
hey, Roger, I know you about to close the show, brother, and I'm gonna go first, okay? So
Okay.
I want to say peace to everybody. I thank everybody for a great show once again. Shout out to the Roger Report in the chat. Kobe.
All right.
That is true. That
All
is
right.
true.
J-Lo, any last word from you, man?
I like that guy.
I liked that guy's in past tense. Okay. And I ain't talking about Kobe. I'm talking about Kobe. J-Lo, any last words before we roll?
I would say, man, yeah, I think we give out as a whole. I think black men give out too many passes for these broads, man. And when you have a blatant violation such as this, man, it should be no question of what you should do about it. Like they communicate to us in various ways. And when a chick says she doesn't respect you, she doesn't value your authority, your leadership, anything like that, you believe her and let her find out what's going to happen with the next man. If you got to teach them a lesson, man. So, well, great show, man. Subscribe, like, share, and that's all, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Okay, okay. Well, baby, done dipped out. We done lost his
No,
connection.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, my bad. Okay, that's Gold Peter dipped. Okay, well, any last words from you, my brother? Any last words from you?
Yeah, sure. So first, everyone, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Send in super chats, because Roger is the hardest working man, and you definitely ain't gonna get any content like this anywhere else but here. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think I have to agree with Jado. You gotta exercise your power to walk away, because when exercising your power to walk away, you start bringing people who can benefit you into your life. Man was not designed to serve, to be a servant to a woman, right? And just keep that in mind, right? You weren't designed to pay all her financial bills that she made a stake from. Marriage is not there for you to serve a woman. It's actually the opposite. And once we start reclaiming our knowledge and start having demands on women, then the world would be a better place. And so that's all I have to say. Men, continue to grow, develop yourself for yourself, and make sure that you position yourselves where you don't get got. And that's it.
And I'm just gonna say, y'all, the three major things that a man's supposed to do with a woman is lead, protect, and provide. Lead comes first. It's not your job to protect and provide for people you do not lead. If you do that for people you do not lead, it's just charity. And if you don't lead your woman and you help her, you only gave her charity. And you got to keep in mind, people you've given charity to don't owe you anything. It was charity. Now let that sit in your mind. Let that marinate a little bit. And I'm sure you'll get to the right place. We're going to call it a day, y'all. Appreciate everybody for coming through. People appreciate everybody who watching. Even if you catch this on the replay, make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm out of here. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.